Yo. What's happening, everybody? What's up? What's up, YouTube? What's going on, everybody? Hope everyone is having a great week. All right, we are here for Diego Pacheco against Steven Nelson. Shout out to everyone that's in the chat early. All right, shout out to Star Fox. What's good? IZM, Pierre. What's happening? Uncle Jack, Josh, Jay Roos. What's good, bro? Pepino, I see you working, J Rules. I see you doing your content. I'll be checking out some of your stuff. What's good with you? AO, Geo, what's happening to everyone that's here? How's everybody doing, man? It's been a good week. I've been blasting out a lot of content, and I have more on the way. The next breakdown is going to be Stephen Fulton against Brandon Figueroa. I just started doing a little film study. I was trying to rewatch the entire fight today, but I was a little too busy to watch the whole fight. But that'll be my next breakdown. This is actually the first live commentary for a fight that I've done in the new year. We all know that January has been a pretty slow month, but February is going to take off crazy. So once February began, it's going to be nonstop fights pretty much damn near every Saturday. All right. So it's going to be a busy month. And this is why I've been pushing out these breakdowns because, we have that super card, the Beterbiev Bivol rematch, which I pretty much got to do breakdowns for like just about every fight on that card because every fight on that card is good. So, I'm just trying to get ahead of all of these fights. I want to be at least get to a point where I can be a couple weeks ahead with the breakdowns and push those out so I can maintain the wave report videos so I can keep making content on the news and just try to make things better, man, for the content for you guys. I realized that a lot of people don't check and look up boxing news unless they go and listen to their favorite YouTubers, content creators. So I want to just stay consistent with that the best of my ability, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I watched the fight right before this fight at the end of the preliminary fights with Nishan Dev. He got a crazy knockout in the first round. Indian Olympian, and he's at 154, which is a crazy division. I thought the knockout was good. I'm surprised that dude Wiggins that he fought got back up. I mean, he looks good, but he's in a tough division. I don't know if he's staying at 54 or if he's going to go at 60, but it was a good debut fight. I think the only complaint, I guess, in the exchanges, his chin is a little bit up in the air. I think he was trying to force the knockout, but at the end of the day, when he levels up eventually, it's still a lot of time. This was his debut. So I'm just picking at any criticism that I can find. And that one criticism is a key criticism. And that's keeping his chin up in the air during those exchanges. You know what I mean? If he fought someone with a little bit more power, he might've got knocked out himself. You know what I mean? So, I just wanted to bring up that point. Saw Dalton Smith's knockout a couple hours ago. And, the first thing I thought, he got a knockout of Jose Cepeda last year. And that put a lot of eyes on him. I know they were trying to get the Adam Azim fight, but that's not really working out because Ben Shalom doesn't really want to deal with those fighters over there in Matchroom for whatever reason. So with that being said, 40 is a tough division right now because all the top tier fighters are pretty much scheduled for the majority of them. In order for Dalton Smith to step up, Eddie might have to put him at risk a little bit. And I don't know if that's going to happen, but he might have to get like another fighter, like, for example, Jose Ramirez would have been a good fight for Dalton Smith right now. But he's fighting Devin Haney. But There's Sabril Matias, who I believe is available right now. He might have to put the bag up to get a fight like that, and that's an extremely risky fight. I don't know if Eddie will want that for Dalton right now, but he looks good. The opponent he had today was clearly a clear mismatch. I mean, as soon as Dalton landed one decent shot, you saw the guy like get ready to tip over. Like right away in that first round, I was like, nah, this guy doesn't belong in there with Dalton Smith. And you saw every time he landed a punch, even when it didn't land clean, when it was partially blocked, this guy looked like he was about to fall over. You know what I mean? So I just think that he definitely needs to step up. I think he needs to drift away from the whole Adam Mazine fight. Adam is also undefeated, one of the higher prospect contender now type of fighters. It would have been a dope British type fight, whatever, but I don't think it's happening. So I think they need to move on from that. And yeah, but a good performance from Dalton Smith. He's definitely a problem at 140, but I do want to see him level up a little bit, Also, I did see the Naoya Inoue fight afterwards. I didn't see it live. I told you guys I wasn't going to be able to go live. But I did see the fight. And I mean, I told you guys he can either knock him out in the first round, or I expected him to do it within 5 rounds. And he got him out of there in the 4th round. You know what I mean? So I mean, nothing special. Kim was a replacement opponent, not really nearly on Inoue's level. I'm going to make a video, or I might go live, and I'm going to talk in detail about Naoya Inoue. I really want to talk about all of the options, because I gave it a lot of thought today, and I want to talk about the fights that we all want to see, that are realistic, 122 down. I want to talk about more about like what I think is the most dangerous fights, or the most dangerous fight out of those fights. So I'm gonna give it some more thought, and I wanna make a video just thoroughly discussing Naoya Inoue and how he can either push his legacy even further. I know he's a 2-division undisputed champ. I know he's fought some top fighters already. I know he's like a 4-division champion and stuff. Like, I know all of that, but he's still in his younger 30s. He still looks great. And I want to talk about what he can do to push his legacy even further, and leave possibly, because I think there's room for him to walk away from his career, still may possibly being like the best of this generation. He could, but there's specific fights that I need to see him involved in before he goes. But I saw the fight. I mean, he did what he always do. You know what I mean? Nothing was expecting anything less would have been, a poor performance. Like, what he did was what he normally does. All right. Again, shout out to everyone that's here. Let's see what you guys saying. Jay Roos says, much love and respect. Looking forward to the stream. Thank you. E-Class, what's up? The GOAT. Appreciate that. Pepino, what's good with you? He says, I'm kind of feeling an upset tonight with Nelson. Nelson hasn't looked great, but I think this is where he steps up. I'm going to talk about that right after I read these comments. Definitely going to talk about that at some point before the fight. AO says, LMAO at Kim egging Inoue on to hit him right before Inoue KO'd him. Yeah, and when I saw that, I said to myself, like, Inoue was getting them rounds in. Once this guy pissed him off a little bit, he got knocked out. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? Josh, he says, you've been as active as I've ever seen you, Wave. Really appreciate the content. Yeah, actually, believe it or not, because I've been here a long time, and I remember there was times where there was no money on YouTube. I was just making videos straight off just pure fandom. There was a period in my earlier years on YouTube where I was dishing out anywhere between 2 to 5 videos a day, like just all my free time was straight all YouTube. You know, I worked, I played video games, and I made YouTube content. You know, that was a long time ago. Things has changed. I got so many more priorities since then. But this is actually, you're right. This is actually, I want to say, the last 10 or so days. This is the most content I ever put out within, you know, a week or like a little over a week. In the past, I think 7 days, I did like 4 lives with you guys. I did like about 9 or 10 different videos. You know what I mean? So I've been very, very active. And I'm gonna try to continue to be in that way for you guys. All right. Yeah, I seen Shakur Little Cousin. He did look good. I did see a glimpse of the fight. He did look good. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to do that for you. The first fight that started, Marcado against Rubacava. I don't want to say his name wrong. But this fight is starting out fast. I don't know if you guys are tuning in. We are on DAZN. This is the first of 4 fights. This is an 8-round fight. And Marcado's starting out really fast. He looks like he's trying to destroy this guy. Let's see how this go. Good right hand, Marcado. Good right hand. His chin is, tuck that chin though. Chin is all out there. Rubacava. Where's he from? He's from Cali. He's a Mexican fighter. Not a big puncher. I mean, 9 wins, 3 knockouts. Not really familiar with him. I've seen Marcado before. But yeah, we're in the first fight. What division these guys fighting at? 140? Okay. These guys look small. They look like they're featherweights. Or maybe lightweights. Good fight, so good round so far. Just over a minute left to go in the first round. It's starting to look like Rubacava's backing him down a little bit. He's coming forward. Mercado's throwing bombs, but Rubacava looks relaxed. Nice left hook counter from Marcado. Nice jab from Rubacava. Definitely the jab is definitely bothering Marcado a little bit. Ooh, good right hand from Marcado. Ooh, he got hurt. I told you. Mercado's down. He caught a right hook lunging in. No knockdown? Is he crazy? Oh, he's hurt. He walked in. I just said something about his chin. His chin is all up in the air, bro. Oh, and now Rubacava got caught with a right hand. He got buzzed by that one, but he's good. Crazy first round. Mercado's still hurt. He's fighting back, but he's still hurt. Wow. What a crazy round. Oh, that was a crazy round. That was a knockdown. I agree. Robert Garcia is in the corner of Rubacava. And I agree. That was a knockdown. Mercado was trying to hold on, and he fell while holding on. I really believe that should have been a knockdown. But good fight. Yes, good fight so far. Yeah, hey, I used to be a beast on YouTube. I used to be a beast. And back then, there wasn't that many YouTube channels. You know, it was nothing like it was today. It was smaller channels. We weren't getting that much views, but I was just doing it for the fun. I still do it for the fun. You know, You know, obviously there's money involved in it, but you know what I mean? It's for the fun, man. What's up, Philly Trees? Was good. First fight, Rubacava. Okay, they're counting the knockdown. They're counting. They're going into the second round. They counted the knockdown. I agree. First fight, Rubacava against Marcado. What's going on? Come on, ref. Let's get this going. Yeah, Mercado's legs don't. I don't know if he still got them fully underneath him yet, but I expect him to slow things down and box a little bit more in this second round here because he was fighting like a madman and he had his chin all the way up in the air. He walked right into a hook. Rubacava is still the one coming forward, but Mercado is taking a different approach here. He's boxing a little bit. Nice jab from Rubacava. Looks like the longer fighter here. I feel like fight is close. Watch the heads. I feel like the fight is definitely competitive, but I still feel like Rubacava is still a little bit in control so far. But he did get buzzed with a good shot in that first round. So let's see what happens here. Mercado definitely got some sneaky power. Nah, I don't think Nick Ball in a way happens. The only way I can see that fight happening is if Turkey just throws the bag at in a way because it's a really risky fight, And I know Nick Ball doesn't. I know a lot of people. Oh, Rubacava, nice straight right hand, got the full extension on that right hand and landed clean. I know a lot of people don't like Nick Ball's style, but it's definitely very effective. He's like a Sean Porter, and that could be a tough fight for Inoue. I like Inoue to stay at 122. I think he has to fight Picasa next, and then after that he fights MJ. Hopefully by the end of the year he gets in the ring with MJ, and then at some point I hope Nakatani Mercado's right eye is starting to close already. We're on the second round. Mercado's eye is starting to close. That jab is the problem. That jab has been connecting all first round, and I can tell that eye. He keeps rubbing it. His chin is still up. His chin is still up. Rubacava don't have a lot of knockouts, but he looks bigger too. He looks a lot bigger now that I see them side to side. That jab is up. Yo, that jab is a problem. That jab, he's putting a lot. That's a power jab. I think I saw it right after his fight. I seen it on one of the main media websites. I don't know which one, but I heard that is the plan with Inoue. I heard he's gonna fight Picasa next, and then fight MJ after that. That's what I'm hearing. I think Picasa might be one of his mandatories. Thank you. Mike knows best. He says Waves makes content for legacy, not money. I make it for the money too. Don't get it twisted. But I went a lot of years of making content on YouTube. I think 6 years before I started making money on here. You know what I mean? I definitely did. And to be honest, the majority of the money, like 95% of it, is just from donations. And I appreciate you guys for donating, and especially for the people that sends the Cash App, and I appreciate you guys for that. It I think anyone can just go on here and yell and talk trash and hit record and just say anything, but I definitely put a lot of time into just studying these fighters. I think that's very important. Even if you get the prediction wrong, you want to be able to sound like you know what you're talking about and just coming on here and just saying anything. Because I've seen a lot of channels do that. Over the years, I've seen a lot of channels come and go, and they clearly don't know what they're talking about. So we're in round 3. We got about 2 minutes left in this third round. And I still think, Mercado's now, he's just trying to turn it into a phone booth fight because he's getting outboxed. And those jabs, good overhand right from Marcado. Good shot. But he's making it a very physical fight. And I'm a little concerned about a head clash here, because Mercado, when he gets in on this side, he's swinging his head around. Pause. Yeah. He's a little, he leads with his head sometimes. And it definitely, I could see a head clash in this fight. I think Rubacava got a little cut over his right eye already from the first round. Coco, what's up? What's up? I'll be on. Thank you. He says your channel was the first I followed. Great content, bro. Happy New Year to your dad. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sure he'll be watching this a little bit. Yeah, he'll be watching. All right, we're closing in on the third round and a pretty close round. A lot of back and forth here. I think Mercado wants it to be physical. I just think that once he does that, he gets a little wild and easy to hit. If this guy Rubacava can time him on his way in again, he might catch him with another good shot. But I think Mercado's picked it up a little bit in this round, stepped it up. I don't know, Apollo. I don't know if that's his uncle. What's up, Pocket? Yeah, smash the like button. Everybody hit the thumbs up. All 46 of you, get the thumbs up for me. All right. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the main event. I did a breakdown. I'm sure most of you see my breakdown of this fight. I didn't put any money down on this fight. Like I think I think I like I said, I think Pacheco's gonna win the fight. But Steven Nelson's a little bit mysterious. Like I feel like his fights don't tell me the full story. You know what I mean? They just don't tell the full story of this guy. I know he's with an excellent coach in Bomac. Him and Bud are like this. I'm sure they sparred 1,000 rounds together. You know what I mean? And he is in the best shape I've seen him in before a fight. He even said it himself. He's in great shape. He looks ready. It's just he's very mysterious, and being that Pacheco, who I think has been in there tougher and has been in there, he's been a lot more active. I still think there's some defensive flaws there. But I also said to you in a breakdown that guy Sean McColeman that gave Pacheco a crazy tough fight last year. I think that guy might have been a little bit more trouble for Pacheco than what I see in Nelson in his fights. But when people have to step up, sometimes you see the best of them. You know what I mean? Like, look at this guy. This guy has 3 knockouts and he almost knocked this guy out. Like you can't really call it sometimes, especially when a fighter don't really have much footage out there. There's not much with Steven Nelson. I know his age is up there, but Pacheco looks like the better fighter to me. He looks like the better fighter. Yeah, Ralph, I saw that, man. I saw that. I know. I know. I know. Yeah, Anthony Yarde is fighting Lyndon Arthur for a third time. I was just saying this recently about Yarde. I think Yarde came up in one of my recent lives, and I brought up that Yarde is the type of fighter, and I think Marcado is winning this fight now. I think he's in control right now. Rubacava seems to be slowing down a little bit. Yarde is the type of fighter. He's not taking no seriously dangerous fights before the big fight. So whether the next big fight is with Bivol or Benavidez or Calvin Smith or Joshua Buatsi, Yarde, those fights in betweens, like they're never gonna be like super tough tests. And I'm not saying Lyndon Arthur is not a good fighter. Lyndon Arthur is a good fighter, but we already seen Yarde just run through him in a rematch. You know what I mean? Yarde basically fought the fight that he tried to fight in the end of the first fight when he already gave up too many rounds. So he came out fast in the second fight and blew him away, which was great. But fighting him for a third time is like we didn't the rematch told me everything we need to know about these two. You know what I mean? And even though Yarde lost the first fight, it was still a close fight, you know. But you know what? I don't blame him because he gets the bag. You know what I mean? He got the Adidas sponsorship. They paid him a hell of a lot of money to fight Kovalev back then. Before he fought Kovalev, he had no tough challenge. He was just running through everybody. You know what I mean? And he gave Kovalev a hell of a fight. He gave Beterbiev one of his maybe, you know, before Bivol, probably maybe one of his top 2 or top 3 toughest fights. So it's not like, you know what I mean? He's definitely a top tier fighter at 175, but fighting Lyndon Arthur for a third time is just unnecessary. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody left that rematch saying to himself, yo, we need to get a third fight. You know, I just don't feel like, you know, like you really don't need that fight. It is what it is, though. He's not taking the crazy tough fights. I think he's saving himself, keeping active and saving himself for the big fight. You know, I think and the big bag. That's the way I look at it with Yarde. And this is why some of these other fights fell apart with Joshua Buatsi. I think he has a certain amount of money in his head, and he's not gonna. He don't care what we say. He don't care what the media say. He's gonna wait until the big fight. He'll take the big fight. He'll take the dangerous fight, but it got to be a certain amount of money. And I think that's all it really is. You know what I mean? I think it's all it really is. You know, I don't think he's looking to take tough fight after tough fight. Nah, it is what it is. Yeah, Pocket, you're right. You're right. But Sriracha knocked Munguia out. But Munguia is the same way. You know what I mean? Like Munguia, he's fought some good fighters, but like fighters that's on the Lyndon Arthur level. You know what I mean? Or fighters that were he's a common opponent on somebody I'm trying to face. So let me see if I could beat him better than like a Canelo did. You know what I mean? Like that's how Munguia and the matchmaking for him, you know, but he ended up getting knocked out, which was totally random. No one really expected that. Mr. S, I don't know if I could say that. You know, I wouldn't say that he's killed Yard's career because Yard has touched M's already. You know what I mean? Like he's made a lot of money off the few fights that he had. You know what I mean? And for a guy that started boxing late, didn't really have any amateur fights like that. I don't think he killed his career. I wouldn't say that. I just think that there's a magic number he's looking for any big fight, and that's it. You know, I don't think just like Munguia. I just think these guys, they're just not trying to take risk in between the big risk, and I think that's it. I think that's seriously all it is. You know, I don't think Tunney ruined his career. I think he's done well for himself. He's already had 2 title shots. He didn't win them, but he had 2 already. He had 2 opportunities to be a champion. He just didn't win them. So I wouldn't call that ruining somebody's or killing somebody's career. I just think that we had expectations of Yarde, and when he lost to Kovalev, he went right back down to the lower level. He fought Lyndon Arthur, lost to him, and then after that, it was just, take easier fights in between to stay active, stay sharp, Beterbiev, and then right back down to lower level until a quality fight really shows up. I think Lyndon Arthur is a step above most of the guys he fought outside of Beterbiev and Kovalev, but it's still a safer fight for him because Lyndon is not a big puncher. He's already beaten him. He already knows what to do to beat him again. I think Lyndon Arthur is the one that has to make some changes in this 3rd fight. And I just don't think he has the firepower to deal with Yarde. Yarde is just too strong. You know what I mean? Yeah, GL, you're 100% right. They are business-minded boxers, boxer and coach. They don't want to waste any energy risking anything in between. He already did that with Lyndon Arthur. You know what I mean? Love it or hate it, I can't hate it because he fought Kovalev and Beterbiev. You know what I mean? He fought both, and he gave them hell. Even though he lost and he was stopped, he gave them both hell. He was very inexperienced against Kovalev. In fact, if he ain't fight Kovalev and took that L against him, I don't even think he would have did as well against a guy like Beterbiev. I think he got a lot of experience in getting that fight with Kovalev, especially when it came to pacing himself. Because he got really tired and exhausted in that Kovalev fight. Tell you one thing, man. I was glad to be at that Yarde Beterbiev fight. That was definitely worth the trip. The 2 fights that I've gone to see in the UK, I got extremely lucky because that ended up being one of the better fights of the year. And then when I went last year, I ended up seeing Fabio Wardley against what's this guy's name? Who Fabio Wardley just knocked out recently in the rematch? Frazier Clark. I ended up getting lucky, and that fight ended up being a classic. I went out there twice, and I'm like 2 for 2 for watching some crazy fights out there. Definitely worth the money in the trip. All right. Out of all of the fights on the Bivol against Beterbiev card, which one are you looking forward to the most? Beterbiev and Bivol, but when you pull that card up, I'll let you know for sure. Because I do like almost all of the fights on that card. All right, so that card, what do we got? No, nah, you know what? I'm gonna take that back. I think I'm looking forward to Joseph Parker and Daniel Dubois and Madrimov against Ortiz Jr. a little bit more. I ain't gonna lie. I think those 2 I would probably put in front of Beterbiev and Bivol. I even like Joshua Buatsi against Colin Smith. This card is crazy. This card is crazy. Because you got Stevenson against Schofield, which is a good fight. Zhang against Caballel is a good fight. Adames against Shiraz is a good fight. I like I like Parker and Dubois, and I like Virgil Ortiz against Madrimal. That fight is gonna be fire. Oh, this is too much for one card, yo. I would like to travel to Saudi this year. I kind of want to go to this one, but I'm trying to get my life together right now. I got so many priorities that I'm focused on right now that I'm trying to get together right now. So it's like I want to go, but I'm trying to take care of some personal things, man. Bacoli and Jogba is not on this card. Nah. That's on a card in March, I believe. Yeah. Shakur Stevenson in the building. Yeah, this card is too good because they could have split this card in two. All of these fights could have been main events. Beterbiev Bivol rematch, obviously, main event. Dubois, Joseph Parker, main event. Virgil Ortiz Jr. against Israel Madrimal, main event. Shakur Stevenson against Floyd Schofield, main event. You know, even Joshua Buatsi against Calvin Smith. That's the first fight. That's the first fight. That is a British. You could throw that in the O2 and dress it up with a good undercard. That's a good fight. That's a good fight. All of these fights could have easily been main events. Easily. You know what I mean? So yeah, Bacoli, if Bacoli gets through a Jabba, I would like for Bacoli to get a super tough fight. Like maybe the winner of Parker and Dubois or another like really, really top guy. If it's not that fight, I want to see Bacoli fight the winner of Caballel and Zhang. Yeah, that's a crazy card. They could have split that card up. There's 6 fights on there. They could have split that up and made it a fire card for each. You know what I mean? You take 3 of these 6 fights, you take 3 of them, and that could have been its own card, you know? And you take the other 3, that could have been its own card too. That card is that card is like a celebration, bro. That card, like that Saturday, like you cancel all your plans. You ain't doing nothing that whole day. Like that card is like the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Into boxing to me. That card is insane. Man, I wish Turkey Al Sheik was on here, man. I would love I would love to just meet that guy just to tell him like thank you. You know, just to shake his hand and just say like thank you, you know, because I'm tired of complaining about boxing, bro. I'm tired of complaining about boxing. And you know, you're gonna get your ducks. You know what I mean? You're gonna get your robberies. You're gonna get your point taken from Marcado. Hold on. Oh, he lost it. He might lose this. He got a point taken and head headbutt. I was saying this earlier about the headbutt. His head is just all over the place. Yeah, yo, I would love to meet Turkey Mount Alashik, bro. And just I just want to tell the man thank you. Like, I don't even want anything. Like, yo, you know, if you can throw me into the mix of this media stuff, that would be great. But I would want to meet him just to personally say, like, thank you. Because as much I don't I know I never like gossiping. I never like putting too much content and time into the gossip. So now that we're getting quality fights consistently, I could just do what I want to do. Like I could just do what I do is talk about the breakdowns, talk about the careers, like talk about the real shit. I don't even have to spend no time talking about the gossip like that no more. You know what I mean? I don't gotta talk about what's his name said on Twitter about this. Like I bring it up sometimes, but I don't have to focus. 95% of my work is based on lives, breakdowns, and news. All the gossip, like this guy said this about this, I don't have to do that. And I know those get clicks, but I don't want to do that shit, man. I don't want to be talking about domestics. These guys, like after Tank in his last domestic, you guys see, I haven't done anything else on any other fighter that's been involved in domestic issues. Jamel Herring recently, Dmitry Bivol, Sergey Kovalev, any fighter after that Tank joint, I was like, yo, that's it. Because I don't even normally do that. But I was like, I'm not doing it no more. I'm not for no one. I'm not doing it no more. Unless it's affecting a fight. I might report like, yo, this fight was going down, but because of this domestic situation or because of this arrest, I might break it down like that. But I'm not like, I don't want to just be gossiping no more. We got too many fights to talk about. We got too many. You feel me? Like, nah, I ain't doing that no more, man. It's dead for that. But shout out to Turkey Al Sheikh, man. I would love to meet that guy. And I thought about it before. I was like, yo, I'm probably gonna meet this guy at some point, just to shake his hand and tell him thank you, for saving this sport. Because we shouldn't be waiting 5 years for a fight. We really shouldn't be waiting all these years to get good fights. And all the fighters that's out there ducking, if they ducking any kind of smoke and they just taking the easy route, we don't have to talk about them. We don't gotta talk about them because there's too many good fights that's coming up. We don't gotta talk about like this guy ducking this guy, and we don't gotta talk about it. If they don't want to fight, then we don't need to talk about them. Paulo says, I think since Deontay Wilder and Errol Spence fans have lost AK, I think the LDBC channels have broken up. I mean, I really don't know. I mean, I'm very cool with Trail Boxing. I'm very cool with him. I don't really follow what the other channels is doing. But one thing like I always say about like when it comes to radical boxing fans and content creators, it's not just the LDBC. It's really not. And if you pay attention, there are other groups of people that do the same thing. There are a lot of channels that are very, very biased and no one says anything about them. Now I mind my business because I'm solo. I do my thing. I support some of the channels I support. I tell you guys I like. I don't hate on any channel, even the ones that's dissed me in the past. I don't talk about them. You know what I mean? I don't even acknowledge. If you hating on me, if you showing love, then I'm gonna acknowledge you. If you showing hate, I ain't gonna even bring you up. But there are other channels out there that are just as biased for non-black fighters, and no one says anything about them. And you know why I don't care that much? Because I know that when it comes to anything, there's always going to be double standards. Because if you're biased towards a certain group or people from a certain place, or if they fight for a certain network, whatever things you call out, like if you call out a fighter that you suspect is cheating on drugs and you are a fan of them or they support your channel, you're not going to say anything about it. That's when bias comes in. That's why I kind of like that I don't have a close relationship with nobody on here, because I get the opportunity to come on here and talk my shit, and then I can turn this off and just sleep peacefully. I don't have to worry about ruffling any feathers or relationships I have with people. I don't want no relationships with people like that. It would be great to network that way, but I want to be able to come here and be honest every single time. You know what I mean? I want to be able to be honest with everybody. And the thing is, I'm not even disrespectful. I'm not disrespectful to anybody. But if you lose, or if I don't think you're that good, or if I think you're wrong in a situation, or if I think you're ducking, I'm gonna call it as I see it. Even if I like you and I support you, you know. And I don't think a lot of people I've met. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm not gonna say any names, but I've met a lot of boxers in person, a lot over the years, and a lot of them know who I am. A lot of them see my content, and I can tell you that I can tell like they didn't like something I said about them. And it wasn't even nothing bad. It's just like I might have called out something that I didn't like. Hold on. This looks like a split decision. Hold on. Draw. So Marcado, even with the headbutt point taken, even with the knockdown, they still gave him the majority of the rounds, which I'm not surprised at. I mean, I felt like after the first couple rounds, Marcado was doing a little bit better. But then I was talking to you guys, so I wasn't like studying and scoring it. But it ended up being a draw. Of course. Well, I'm biased too. I might be more unbiased than most channels, but I have my biases too. Do I like 70s sports? I used to watch him in the beginning, and me and him were very cool in the beginning. I think when YouTube started to make a change and everything started to become very racial, I think that's when things changed a little bit, you know. So I haven't watched his videos in a long time. I watch some of his interviews though, like over the last few years, like whenever he interviewed Wilder or whatever. I would just talk about what but I don't like, do I watch his channel like that? No. I only watch a few channels, you know. I watch, and when we say channels, I watch all the media channels for sure because I want to know what's going on. As far as content creators like myself, like people like me that get on here, um, like I watch I watch The Wire sometimes. I watch Boxing Beats and Rhymes a lot, you know. I watch Ring IQ. Uh, I watch uh I might watch Blood Boxing every once in a blue. There's probably like 10 channels I watch, you know. I watch Counterpunch. Shout out to Kurt, my guy. I watch it depends on the topic, but I don't watch too much content creators because I spend most of my time doing research, looking up the news, and then doing my own research so I can I don't have time to listen to too many content creators. I only have time to work on my channel, you know. The only time I listen to channels is when I'm in the car. When I'm in the car, I listen to boxing content. So sometimes, like if I'm driving to work or whatever, I'll put on like a Beats video. Like Beats is good with the news. He posts almost daily, so I probably listen to him the most. Everybody else, I listen to him depending on what the topic is. You know, I listen to Showbiz too. I listen to Showbiz depending on the topic, like everybody else. You know, I listen to Showbiz and shout out to Showbiz because Showbiz is him and Adi. Those guys are inspiration, bro. Because look at where they are. They're basically living what they love. They're working and their Showbiz don't work anymore. He works strictly for boxing in his content. He's on every platform now. You know what I mean? So shout out to Showbiz. He did it, and it didn't take that much time for this to completely change his life. Same thing with Adi Oladipo. He's those guys, you know, they're top, they're big time now. You know, Ade has his channel. I still, you know, he makes content here and there. But he's given interviews with Turkey Alashi and all the top tier boxers. And you can see why. He's he's excellent at making fighters comfortable into speaking their truth. And Showbiz is like he has so much energy, you know what I mean? He's wild. Yeah, I don't agree with everything he say, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it works. He's getting thousands of views per video, you know what I mean? So shout out to him for even making it to where he's at the level. He has the highest level. You know, he is the biggest boxing channel right now. You know, so yes, he is. Philly said it. Biz is dedicated. He prioritized boxing and nothing else. So everything he got, he deserved. No matter how people, like a lot of people come here and they talk trash about him sometimes. And I'll be like, no matter how you feel about him, people want to see what he has to say. He has a lot of influence on the boxing community, even the fighters. They react to him. He has a lot of influence with the boxing community. And even if you don't agree with him on certain things, or you don't like the way he delivers it or whatever, it works. It works. I can't be him. I'm not like him, but I'm definitely inspired by what he does, because when you watch his content, you're like, when he says like people's kids be watching his stuff, it's dedication. It's you got to be in. It's definitely inspiring to see someone get that big that fast off boxing, because boxing ain't even the head honcho of of content. It's at the lower end. So I don't know how many he got, 200, 300,000 subscribers off boxing without doing media. He doesn't even do media. He doesn't even do media. You know what I mean? He doesn't do media. He's like me. He's just going here and says what people listen to him. Yes, I shout out to True School Sports. I do watch his content as well. Shout out to him and his pops. He's very, very dedicated. You know, one thing about True School, he will pull up to the gym and interview everybody in that gym. You know what I mean? That's dedication. You know what I mean? He's very dedicated. So salute to him and salute to everybody else doing their thing. You know, salute to everyone that's doing their thing. But I appreciate you guys for supporting me over the years. You know, one thing that I would never want to do, or you know, I've been told not to ever do, for the people that watch me that are close to me, is to never change who I am. So as much as I love doing this, I will never change who I am in order to get bigger. You know, um, I live a life of principles. Um, I'm never gonna sell out. No one's ever approached me and told me to make content or anything. Um, you know what I mean? I'm gonna always be fair. I'm gonna always be honest. I'll never change that. I'll never change that. Not even for the bag. I won't change that. I like to have the freedom to be honest. You know, and some of you say, oh, that's why they'll never reach out to you, because you know what I mean? They can't get you. And if that's the case, it sucks. But hey, it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. Um, Thank you, AL. Appreciate that. J Min says, who you got out of Dubois and Joseph Parker? Man, I don't know. So I just watched I just watched the face-off they had today. I was listening to it. I was watching it while I was in a car. I had it on my phone. So fan-wise, I want Parker to win. And I believe he could win. But you guys know, let's keep it real. I have never been good at picking Daniel Dubois fights. I think the only one I got right was the Usyk one. So, I'm not. I've definitely overestimated him at one point, and I've definitely underestimated him in the more recent fights. With that being said, I believe Parker can win. I think he brings a little bit more than, and I know, and this is including AJ. I understand. I thought AJ was going to win, like most people, but I think Parker is a little bit harder to hit than AJ. I think he's more durable than AJ. You know, I know he's been stopped by Joe Joyce. I know Zhang knocked him down a couple times. He's more durable than AJ. I think he's quicker than AJ. And I think he has a better style to deal with like AJ. Like AJ is great when he's in control. But when things tend to fall apart a little bit for AJ, things fall apart quickly. You know? And that's what happened with Dubois. Things fell apart in the very first round, and it just kept getting worse after that. Whereas Parker, he might wake up at the moment you get him with a good shot. You know what I mean? I think Parker is it might be a little bit more difficult for Daniel Dubois to beat. All right, but I like the fight. I can't tell you yet who I'm going with because I really don't know. I was like, I'm leaning towards Dubois, but not exactly in the way that people are expecting. I think Dubois, if he does win, it may not be by knockout, and I still think Parker is capable of hurting Dubois. I know Parker hasn't just been knocking guys out lately, but I think he still has the power to hurt Dubois. Dubois has been stopped twice, and he's been hurt and down, So I don't know. I'll do a breakdown soon. I'll let you guys know. As soon as I get that breakdown out there, you guys will be the first to see it. But I gotta, I'm gonna do the film study and all that. I wanna, and another thing too, in Dubois' defense, and to look at Parker a little bit. Parker, the two guys he just beat, Wilder and Zhang, they fight completely different from Daniel Dubois. Wilder, he's not the same. It is what it is. He might have power, but the speed, the athleticism, the hunger, he's overthinking in there. He's just not a savage that he was. And I know Wilder knocked out a lot of bums and all that, but at the end of the day, his intentions were to destroy whoever he fought. And that's what Daniel Dubois does. I don't see that in Wilder. Wilder started trying to be too much of a boxer. And I think that's when things started to fall apart a little bit. And Zhang is very effective, but he's a one-trick pony. He doesn't have a crazy arsenal. He has a good right hook, and he has a good straight left hand. And he gives you 5 rounds. That's it. So Triple D is a hell of a lot different from those two guys. Yeah, Wilder's punch resistance has gone down a lot dramatically. All right. All right, so we got the next fight coming up. Ernesto Marcado is fighting Jose Pedraza. And I think this is going to be, this is, at least this fight is not at 135. Uh at least Jose Pedraza is not drained in this fight. But I don't know how much he really has left. I seen him get knocked out by Keyshawn. He had no business going back down to 135. You know what I mean? So it seemed like these guys weighed in at above 140. So this could be a good test for Ernesto. You know what I mean? He's, if he is the beat and stop Pedraza at a heavier weight, I would be sort of impressed, but I like, this should be Ernesto's moment to like show, like, that he can compete and possibly start getting into that stage of the talks of being a contender. You know what I mean? Depends on how he looks right now. Pedraza looks, you know what I mean? I don't know. The thing is, I don't know how much he has left. But if this was a few years ago, I'd be a little unsure of how this fight was gonna go here. I like Pedraza too. I like them. I liked them for a long time. I just don't know what he has left. But I am glad that he's not going back down. No, that move to go down to 135 to fight Keyshawn was a huge mistake. He looks terrible in that fight. Look weak. So first round, a lot of movement from Pedraza. This is a 10-round fight. A lot of movement from Pedraza so far. We know that he can switch. He likes to change directions, come in, step in, and throw punches from weird angles at times. Ernesto looks calm and relaxed. Good, quick hands. Ready showboating a little bit. Good jabs from Marcado. Looks very relaxed. Haven't gotten anything from Pedraza yet. Nice right hand to the body from Marcado. I like it. Two of them. Pedraza looks like he's just trying to figure him out halfway through this first round. Hasn't really thrown anything yet. Marcado's just waiting. Being patient, looking, swinging a miss there. Pedraza caught him with a straight left. Oh, Marcado caught him with a nice, clean combination. Nice left hook there. Pedraza ate it. Where's your jab, Pedraza? Where's the jab? I think that hook from Marcado definitely bothered Pedraza. I see him keep touching his right eye. Nice, another nice combination from Marcado. Clear round, 20 seconds to go. Clear round for Marcado so far. Nothing really from Pedraza. Yeah, that he keeps touching his eye. I think his eye is already damaged from that hook and these other shots that he's landed. Yeah, Pedraza ain't the same, even at the higher weight. Who's the most overrated fighter to me? Right now. Uh, right now, I don't know. Right now, who's the most overrated? Uh, Overrated. Who's overrated? I don't think any of the top tier fighters are overrated like that. Most of them are proven. It would have to be someone on a come up. It would have to be someone on a come up. Yeah, I don't know. I got to think about that. What's up, Arlette? It's been a minute, yo. I haven't seen you in a long time. What's good? Uh, I don't know, man. I think Tank isn't overrated. I believe in his skills. I think he's probably my most disappointing though, because he's not fighting anyone that would prove that. So I could see why people would think Tank. You know, I think he's a phenomenal fighter. It's just like I've said in plenty of videos. I don't want to keep talking about this, but it's just like he hasn't. I'm waiting for him to prove like fight one of these dudes to really show what he can do. Like to really show what he could do. Like I want him to fight one of those top dudes. You know, I really do. Yeah. Pedraza is starting to be a little bit more aggressive this round, but he's now walking into more shots. Yeah. So to answer your question, I would say as far as the top fighters, I would have to say Tank has been the most disappointing for me because of he's not fighting the people I want to see him fight, and the people I want to see him fight, I think he would beat. He just don't want to do it. He doesn't want to pull the trigger. You know, so it is what it is. Like I want him to go into a dangerous fight. That's all. And then he doesn't even have to go to 140 to do that. I think Pitbull is fairly rated. I don't think he's overrated. I think he's just rated. I don't think he's underrated. I don't think he's overrated. I think he's just a good fighter. And his style works well against certain fighters and it doesn't work with others. You know, he's gonna win some, he's gonna lose some. Traza's not really throwing anything again. I think he's felt Marcado's power and he's just being very hesitant. Good right here and there, but no power behind it. Marcado just looks way better so far. Good second round. I don't think Gary Antoine Russell is overrated. I don't think he's overrated. Like I don't think he's overrated. I think Sabril Matias was overrated. I think that. I think he was a little overrated. That's one fighter. I don't say he's the most. I think he's overrated though. I do. I think he's dangerous, but I think he's overrated. I knew he was going to lose. I knew he was going to lose that power fight. And I think Paro, yes, J-Man, I agree with you. I think Paro is overrated too. Not just because he lost recently, but I just thought that he was getting matched well. He was getting matched well. And that Matias fight was a very dangerous fight. And it's an excellent win for sure. Not taking anything away from him. But I knew when he got into a ring with a boxer of equal skill or maybe a little bit superior, he would lose. There was no parts of me that thought he was going to be Hitchens. You know? Um, I think he was being overrated a little bit. Same thing, I want to say these guys are absurdly overrated. It's just that people were making it seem like Matias would just clean up the division. You know what I mean? And when Liam Paro beat him, people were making it seem like, you know, he was the best at 140 after that win. You know, I a little bit overrated. Janovic, I think he's fairly rated. I think he needs to prove himself, but I don't know what he's doing. He's just waiting around. So I can see why you would think he's overrated. Um, at 160, though, I think right now at 160, he's been the most impressive, but he's not proven. And this is why people don't talk about him like that. It's a terrible division. It's the worst division in the sport. What's up, Rich Franklin? Yeah, we talked about Dalton Smith earlier. Good fight, but that guy was clearly not. He shouldn't have even been matched up with that guy. That guy just had no punch resistance. You know, even the unclean landed punches or punches that anything that touched it, this guy almost went down. You know, um, Dalton needs to get back in the ring ASAP. All right, because it's been a year since he stopped Zepeda, almost a year, and just getting a 1 round fight. He needs to get back in there. You know, he has to be busy. You know, especially if he's not fighting top tier like fighters. You know, I think the Zepeda fight was necessary for sure, but this fight today was like that didn't do anything. You know, and you can't base. You got to move on from Adam Azim. You know, you got to move on from that. You know, it's you don't want to be like a Demetrius Andre where you're looking for like 1 or 2 specific fights. If you don't get them, you're like inactive and all that. You know what I mean? We can't have that. Actually, Berlanga, the fight before Canelo, I think he looked impressive in that fight. He looked like he got better, and I was impressed with his Canelo fight. Even though he clearly lost, I thought he improved. So I don't have much bad to say about Edgar Berlanga. You know, I think with his inexperience and to do that well against Canelo, um, I was actually more impressed with his performance than Jaime Munguia's performance. And Munguia's been boxing um, for much longer. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't have much to say about Berlanga. I think on his knockout streak, I think they were overrating him a little bit. Yeah, but that's because you know, they were just promoting him. They was just promoting, and you know, they was pushing him and just trying to make it seem like he's the next big Puerto Rican fighter. And I think that happens with all the up and coming Puerto Rican fighters, especially if you're from New York, or you know what I mean. If you're a Puerto Rican American boxer and you're from New York, they're trying to push that. Like we've been trying to get another Puerto Rican superstar since Miguel Cotto. You know, and I'm not Puerto Rican, but I tell you guys all the time, being from New York, like it's a big deal. It's a big deal. You know, seeing Tito and Cotto at the Puerto Rican parades, having the big fights here, it was a big celebration every single time they fought here every year. You know, it's no different from Mexico and how Canelo is for May and September fights. So being a New Yorker, it's thank you. Being a New Yorker, it's definitely a big deal. And I miss that. I miss that feeling. And I don't think Berlanga is gonna bring that. You know, I don't think Xander Zayas is gonna bring that. You know, I didn't think Felix Verdejo was gonna bring that, you know. It's just those guys were really special, man. And I don't know when we're gonna get one of those two again. You know, like Miguel Cotto was. That's one of my top five. He's Puerto Rican. He's one of my top five because when Miguel Cotto fought, it was a moment. Oh, Pedraza is down and he's hurt. He's hurt bad. He's laid down on his back. Oh, he's trying to get up. I don't know if he's gonna make the count. He doesn't look good. He's out. If no, stop it. He's not good. And that's so Marcado got him out here. What were we in round 3? Good knockout. Yeah, I think Pedraza is done. He's done. He's done. Doesn't matter the weight at this point. He's done. His punch resistance is gone, bro. Yeah, like I was saying, like Miguel Cotto, when he fought in New York, it was like how when Zab fought in New York, just the Puerto Rican version. Just like when Zab fought in New York, it was a big deal at one point. I grew up I was a crazy Zab Judah fan. Even when he got beat up, I'll just be mad when he lose. But same thing with Cotto and the Puerto Ricans. Like it was a moment whenever we go downtown, we take the train or drive downtown and watch the Puerto Rican parade. And Miguel Cotto was always on the float. You know what I mean? It was a big deal. It was a good time. And then when Tito was running, I was younger, but I wasn't old enough to be going outside like that. But when Tito, his energy was even different. But Cotto is big time, man, and they're trying to find that fighter. I don't know. Like I like Xander though; he's good. I think he's the most talented out of like this current wave of Puerto Rican guys. But I don't know if he's Xander Zayas is at 54. Like not like 54 is crazy. That division is crazy. It's gonna be hard as hell to run through some of those guys. He might lose on his first step up fight. You know, I mean, yeah, Cotto's my favorite personally from the Puerto Ricans. I like Tito. Tito would be my number 2 because I was a crazy Tito fanatic at that time, and I loved Oscar too at that time, watching them two fight. But I ended up being more of a Cotto fan. Like, I don't know if Cotto would beat Tito if they both fought, but I'm more of a Cotto fan. You know what I mean? Especially when like he beat Shane Mosley. You know what I mean? Shane is my number. He's in my top 5 too. So, that's why when Floyd fought Cotto, I was like, damn, like I want Floyd to win, but that's Cotto. You know what I mean? That's Cotto, like, and I'm glad Floyd and Cotto gave us a good fight. I'm glad that fight went the way it went. Like Floyd clearly won, but he got beat up a little bit in that fight. He got hit more than what we're used to seeing him get hit. And this is where my bias come with. This is why I absolutely hate Antonio Margarito. I hate that guy. I hate Antonio Margarito. And he's a phenomenal fighter. I'm not taking away from what he did. He was a good fighter, but I hate that guy just because of Cotto. He beating Cotto and the suspicions of that win. That's when my bias come in. I hate certain fighters that beat fighters that I love. You know what I mean? Coming from New York, I felt attachments to Cotto. Every New York fighter, like I've always been biased towards him. Cotto, even though he's not from New York, I felt like he was. Zab, Mike Tyson, obviously. Danny Jacobs. Like Marcado's talking crazy to Shakur. He's been talking crazy about Shakur all week. I think even at the press conference and stuff. He called out Hitchinson. Oh, Marcado's talking crazy to Shakur. Okay. I like it. I forgot. Cotto, I don't know if he was either not born in Puerto Rico or didn't grow up in Puerto Rican for some time. But he's not from New York, though. Yeah, so certain New York fighters I got a clear bias for, and I feel attached to them. But I would feel I say like Hector Camacho, as far as New York fighters, he's definitely one of my favorites. Mike Tyson, obviously, Zab Judah. Um, I know Cotto's not from New York, but he, he's from New York to me. I don't know. It was always a movie when he was up here. And, I think he fought in the Garden for like 10 years straight. You know what I mean? So yeah. But Hector Camacho was he when I was a kid, I used to love watching Hector Camacho fight because I just wanted to see what outfit he would wear to the ring. You know what I mean? Yeah, Young Hollywood said Cotto from New York by heart. What a legend. Yeah. Cotto, Cotto and Camacho. Camacho was from East Harlem. And he was like super flashy. He had all the girls, he had all the cars. He was like a Cotto, Hector Camacho is you can't get no more Puerto Rican, New Yorkian like more than Hector Camacho. Like he's the most Puerto Rican New Yorker that I've ever seen. Legit. He's the most Puerto Rican you're gonna get from a New Yorker. For real. Yes, Cotto is from Rhode Island. You're right. Yeah, he's definitely he acts just like every Puerto Rican from New York that I know. Same thing. All my Puerto Rican friends, same thing. Camacho was exactly the same way. You know what I mean? All right, guys, give me like 5. I'll be right back. What fight is up next? Let me see. Andy Cruz is up next against Omar Gomez. Gomez? I thought his name was something else. Salcido. Where I seen this guy fight someone. Oh, Chris Colbert. Yeah, this is the guy that just stopped Chris Colbert recently. I remember watching that fight. I did see that fight. So that should be a decent fight. Andy Cruz got I think he got knocked down in his last fight, right? Or he got hurt really bad in that fight a couple times by Antonio Moran. So this should be a decent fight. But give me 5 minutes. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. All right, we got 2 more fights to go. Andy Cruz is next. I think Andy Cruz and Keyshawn. That's never gonna happen. Keyshawn's gonna keep moving up, and I don't think that's ever gonna happen. You know, I don't think Andy. I think we have a more of a chance of seeing Andy against a Shakur or something like that than seeing a Keyshawn and Andy. I just don't see that fight happening. I don't see it. Keyshawn recently did an interview, and he was basically saying how, you know, he's growing fast and he could see himself fighting at 47 not too long from now. And Andy, I don't see Andy growing at the pace, at least at the age he's at. I can't see him really being more than a 140 fighter. You know, I don't see him growing like that, because he's not even a big guy at 135. You know what I mean? And he's like almost 30, you know? I think I don't see it. I don't see it. I only see it if they're both, you know, at a space where there's a high demand for it, because they're both, you know what I mean? Like, they're both killing it and there's nowhere else to go, you know? Maybe like, even if Andy is one, you know, because like I hear Keyshawn in his interviews, and whenever he sees is like, you know, yes, he beat me in the amateurs, but every interview he's calling me out. Like, he's staying relevant because of me. You know, I plan to move up. You know, he's not on my radar right now. And when it comes to Andy, he's going to be at 35. And unless he becomes like a champion or a unified champion like that, and people are just demanding it, you know what I mean? Because they're near each other. I don't know. Now, Keyshawn's saying the 147. I don't see the 147 move like that right now, but maybe in a few years I see it. And if Keyshawn goes to 47, he's not coming back down to fight Andy. It is what it is. You know, I'm not saying Andy's going to remain at 135, but he's not a big lightweight. You know what I mean? He's a smaller lightweight. Like, he looked in his last fight against Antonio Moran, he looked a lot smaller than Antonio Moran. You know what I mean? I just don't see it. I don't see it. I would like to see it, because I would like, you know, when it comes to the amateurs, and I know they just fought not too long ago, like they fought again, maybe a couple years or a few years back. At the end of the day, it's still, I'm not going to base everything on amateur fights. I don't base everything on sparring stories. You know, sparring stories, yo, guys spar all the time, and they have the better fighters all the time, and then they end up getting knocked out in a real pro fight. You know what I mean? So I would love to see them fight, but if they haven't fought yet as pros, I don't see them fighting. I just don't. Keyshawn is younger. He's still growing, and he's almost 30. You know, you win 2 Olympic gold medals. You're spending half of your boxing career and most of your prime as an amateur. You know what I mean? When you're having hundreds, it's the same thing with Lomachenko. Now Andy's gonna come out fast, and he's gonna get a title at some point, but by that time, Keyshawn is gonna be fighting at 40 or 47. You know what I mean? So I don't really see it. And I think 47 is going to be completely open really soon, because even though right now I believe that Jaron Ennis is the best at 47 right now. Obviously, he has to fight Stanionis, Norman, and whatever, but that division is completely wide open. Once these guys move up from 40 to 47, Keyshawn will be sliding right into 40 and getting a title there. You know what I mean? So if he beats Baranchik, I see him sliding right into 40 and getting a title at 40. And by that time, a lot of the top guys at 40 right now will be at 47. You know what I mean? Um, people ask me this every once in a while. Would I consider doing an influencer boxing match against Showbiz? Yeah, if they pay me. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Why not? I would do it. And he's not a big puncher, but he's definitely been working on being a bigger puncher. You know, you can tell his recent fights and being with and a senior, he's he's working on that power, you know. You guys got your money on me. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Just shout out to Showbiz though. You guys are talking a lot about Showbiz today. But yeah, I would do it. I feel like someone asked me that once a year if I would do it. Yeah, thank you. This mug I got when I was in the UK, probably the first trip I did there. Whenever I travel anywhere, I normally buy a coffee mug to somewhere I haven't been yet. So I think the first time I went there, I ended up buying this mug and bringing it back and a shot glass. Yo, on a low, I'm slowly becoming a fan of the bare knuckle. I don't watch it like that, but if it's on TV and I ain't doing nothing, I normally watch it and not change the channel. So I'm slowly tuning in. I think it's gonna slowly it's gonna get to a Bellator level where they're gonna get former boxing champions and MMA champions more and more are gonna go over there. Former UFC guys, former like Austin Trout. They're gonna get more of those guys that's on their way out of boxing, and then at some point they're gonna create their own stars. Okay, I do kind of like it. I think about 75% of it is still like backyard brawlers and stuff. But at some point, it's gonna get it's gonna continue growing. I do watch it a little bit. I have been watching it a little bit. I think it'll be entertaining once the quality of the fighters improve a little more. It'll take a few more years, but it's entertaining sometime, and then it'll work out because a lot of fans are fight, and I'm talking about fight fans in general. A lot of them just want to see knockouts, and those bare knuckle fights, most of those guys get knocked out in the first round. You know what I mean? Um, so it's not bad. It's definitely worth watching. Me, I definitely watch it now. Powell says it should be Ernesto against Floyd Schofield. Listen, I'm not mad at the Shakur Floyd Schofield fight. I think it's a decent fight. Obviously Shakur is much more experience being like a 3 division champion already. But if you look at the resume of Shakur, outside of a few people, I still believe this would be maybe a top 3 or top 4 most dangerous fight for him based on who he's fought so far. So I'm not mad at the fight. I'm glad that guy like Floyd is going in there tough without having to wait so many more years. You know what I mean? I think that guy is only like 21 years old. Is he or 22 years old? Like I know he's young. I don't know how young. Look him up real quick. Andy Cruz is entering the ring now. Salcedo is already in the ring. Floyd Schofield is how old? He's 22. You know, and he's already fighting Shakur Stevenson. It's not a bad fight. And if he does lose the fight, he has a whole career ahead of him. You know what I mean? If he does lose, it would be if Shakur lose, it would be a bad loss for him. You know, it would be a bad loss for him. But I think Shakur should try to make a statement. I know he's not a KO artist. I know he's not a big puncher. But, you know, I think some of the criticism is a little too heavy for him. I don't think his last fight was that bad. It's just that it was like it reminded me of a Demetrius Andre fight. Like, you're beating up your opponent, but you can't stop him. You know, he just couldn't stop the guy. And sometimes it happens that way. You know, it's not like he was running. It wasn't like the you know who I really want to see? What is going on with Edwin De Los Santos? I really want to see that guy in another fight. I want to see that guy in another fight. We need to get. Does anybody know what's going on with Edwin De Los Santos? We need to get that guy back in the ring. That fight with Shakur and Edwin was probably one of the most disappointing fights. Because going into that fight, I thought Edwin was by far the most dangerous fighter that Shakur had faced, including, you know, that's including Oscar Valdez and Herring and whoever Shakur had fought. I thought Edwin was by far the most dangerous opponent, and neither one of them did anything. You know, terrible fight. But I would love to see Edwin back in another fight. I like watching him fight. I think he's really good. Edwin versus Frank Martin would be a good fight. I would love that. Would be a good fight. I would probably be leaning towards Edwin, believe it or not. I would be leaning towards him. Frank got to get back in there too. Hope he doesn't go too long. You know, I know he's enjoying some of that money he made in that Tank fight, but hopefully he doesn't stay out too long. He needs to get back in there soon. Was it worse than Casemiro against Ringen though? I think Casemiro and Virgendal is worse, but barely worse. But it's worse, yeah. That was a bad fight. That was a real bad fight. And I think I went live for that fight. And I think that might be the number one worst fight I've ever had to cover on this channel. But I think Shakur and Edwin is up there too. It's definitely up there too. I know Haney against Gamboa was one of them too. That was a terrible fight. I hated that fight. There's a few of them. All right, we got round one. See, Andy, I expect Andy to outbox him, but Salcedo got power. And I think he has the power to hurt Andy if Andy gets a little too reckless in there, you know, because he's been doing a lot of flashy showboating. I think at least at this level, I think he needs to start fighting. You know, I don't think he should be. I know he wants to please the crowd, and I get that. But fights like these, I think you should just you want to get the win. You know what I mean? Make a statement, but winning the fight is what it is. Cecito's already getting him to bite off feints. Cecito's clearly bigger, and this is what I was saying about Andy. You know, he's 29 years old, and he's a small lightweight. Now he's not small. He's probably like an average white lightweight size. But you're not going to see him get much bigger than this. You're not going to see him go over 140, in my opinion. That's why I don't believe the Keyshawn fight ever happens. So far, though, you see the caution in Cruz. You know, Cecito's coming forward, not throwing much yet. But you can see the caution in Cruz's good jab. Nice. Good jab from Cruz. Salcido try to counter him. Barely missed there. Tell you that Cruz got to keep that right hand up, because this guy's clearly trying to time him with that left hook. Good jabs from Andy, though. He's been on point with that jab. He's winning this round purely off the jab so far. Good right hand to the body from Salcido. That's the second time Salcido landed that right hand to the body. First round coming to a close. Nothing spectacular yet from either. Good hook from Salcido. Cruz looks a little jittery in there so far. Looks a little nervous. He needs to relax a little bit. Maybe he will after this first round. Looks he clearly won the first round, but he looks a little nervous in there. He needs to relax. Thank you. Thank you, Maker. What's up with you, man? What's good? Yeah, and this is fighting against Stanionis. I did a video on it the other day. I went live. You know, breakdown on the way. I have Boots winning, though. I have Boots winning. I think Boots is gonna win a lot more clear than he did in his last fight against Juke. I think Juke gave him a lot of trouble. I think Stanionis, like I said in the live, way more stationary. Good jab, but he's right there in front of you. Excuse me. So that's a good fight, and the winner will be unified. You know, but I think the winner is clearly the top guy at 147. There's not much going on there right now, at least not until Haney and Ryan and all these guys move up to that division. All right. We're in round two. Salcido's starting to push the pace a little bit more the second round. Definitely has Cruz on the back foot. Cruz don't look comfortable in there. He looks like he's afraid to get hit. You know? You want to be defensive, but he looks very, his body language doesn't scream confidence. Good luck foot to the body, though. Cruz just switched to southpaw momentarily. Oh, he's still in southpaw. Just switched back. Salcido's just tracking him down, just stalking, staying busy, not landing anything clean. Cruz, nice counter, right hand. He's starting to open up now. Okay. Now he's starting to throw combinations. Starting to look a little bit more comfortable now. Yeah, Cruz is winning. We're in the second round. 1 minute left in the second round. He won the first round. He's winning the second round, and he's starting to open up some. Good hook to the body from Cruz. Saucedo's just following him around, coming straight in. Good combo from Cruz. Nice short right hand on this side. Oh, he caught a jab on his way in. But he's clearly winning the second round, coming to a close. All right, another Cruz round. Saucedo's just walking into shots. Oh, Benavides Senior is his coach. All right, round 3 in this 10-round fight. Cruz, nice right hand, connects. Cruz is exchange between both. So Sato barely missed that right cross. That could have hurt Cruz there. Cruz got to be careful in those exchanges. I think Cruz wants to open up a little bit. Seems to be overthinking a little bit. Like he wants to open up a little bit, but he also is trying to be very defensive here and avoid that left hook. Overhand right from Saucedo connects. But Cruz is still doing a better work so far in his third round. Good combinations of the body from Saucedo. He hasn't really thrown much to the body so far, but another body shot from Saucedo. Oh, good combination from Andy Cruz. I think he's trying to be the general now, come forward a little bit here on Saucedo. This round, this is the second time Saucedo's kind of backing up. Good jabs from Cruz. Power jabs. Good shot from to the body from Cruz. 35 seconds to go in the third round. Right hand connects to the body of Cruz. Saucedo's been going to the body more, but he's been getting punched more in the face. Round 3 done. Clearest round for Cruz so far. Starting to open up a little bit more each round. They're showing Diego Pacheco entering the arena. Sub Maker says random. Still would have wanted to see Keyshawn against Frank Martin, but I ain't heard nothing from Frank's ever since Tank. Yeah, I was saying that earlier. He needs to get back in there. I haven't heard anything from him, and I just hope he doesn't go too long without a fight. I want to see him against guys like Keyshawn would be good. I'm surprised they didn't have Frank and Pitbull fight yet. Now Pitbull just pulled out of the Ryan Garcia fight, so maybe that's next. Maybe it's a Frank Martin. I'm hoping it's not a Tank Davis rematch. Hopefully Pitbull. I think Pitbull against Frank would be a right fight to make over there on the PBC. They both coming off of losses, so I think that's a realistic fight. But I hope Frank doesn't go too long without a fight. And I know he, and I'm not making any excuses for him losing, but I know he looked a very drained during the week of the fight against Tank. Can he still comfortably make 135? Is he trying to make 135 because he would be a very small fighter at 140? This is why we need to see him come back. I want to see what he looks like when he gets back. All right, but we're in the 4th round. Again, this is a 10-rounder. I gave Cruz the first 3 rounds. Nothing dramatic in this fight, though. He's like kind of coasting so far in this fight. Saucedo don't really have the ammunition to, or the skills to outbox or overwhelm Cruz, but he can land a good shot that can turn the fight around. Good uppercut from Cruz. He one big shot can change the fight, but it doesn't seem like he can win any other way without hurting Andy Cruz. Cruz is just too much better than him as a boxer. Good combination from Cruz on the inside. They trading a little bit. Oh, he hurt. Cruz hurt Saucedo. He's hurt. His legs are shaky. Cruz is trying to take advantage of it, but he caught a big uppercut from Saucedo. Cruz hurt him, buzzed him, but Saucedo is recovered already. So Cruz got to be careful there, Can't force the stoppage. I know he wants to get a knockout, but he can't force it, man. Can't force it. You got to be smart. Another trade in the inside. Good last minute of that round was good. Good exchange from both. Mike G said Frank Martin with PBC, so only God knows when we're gonna see him fight again. Yeah, I hope that's not the case, but it might be the case, man. I really would like to see him fight again. But I really don't know. It's crazy because I'm sitting here on BoxRec. Edwin De Los Santos has not fought since Shakur Stevenson. That was in November of 2023. So we're about 14 months since he last fought. He's not even active right now. That's not good. You got William Zepeda is going to be fighting Tevin Farm in a rematch. You still got Raymond Morotaya. I don't know what he got going on right now. He fought recently, though. He fought in November. He seems to be available. I think Frank Martin should come back against like a Yoshino. That would be a decent fight to come back to. Zara Abdullayev is still out there. He's active. Yeah, I really don't know. Really don't know, what these guys are going to do. But I would like to see him back in the ring, just losing the Tank. It's not a bad loss, but you don't want to go spend too much time not being active. He should be at least fighting like twice a year. So hopefully we hear something soon from him. He said Moritaja might fight Abdullayev for the IBF if Loma retires. Yeah, I hope Loma figures out what he wants to do, man. It's been a long time. He's holding on to the title. Just might as well do something, man. I'm not a fan of fighters not fighting and just holding titles hostages, no matter who they are. We're in the 5th round. Another action round so far, halfway through. A lot of punches from Cruz here. A little desperation a little bit here. But Salcido, a little bit desperation from him, I meant. But Cruz is welcoming it, and they're training a little bit. He said Cruz is going to try to go for the KO. I don't know. I think Cruz ain't going to do it unless he buzzes him. You know what I mean? Again. Good hook from Salcido there. Buzzed him. He's good, though. Cruz is coming in heavy, man. He's going to the body. He's putting the pressure on Andy. Cruz's best round so far. He's still getting hit, though. But his best round here. He's hit Andy the most here in this round. Another round in the bag. Cruz's best round so far. Don't know if that's enough to win it, but definitely his best round. Said Loma should go down and fight Inoue. Nah. I don't think so. Even if he goes down to 130, he'll still be too big for Inoue. If he beats Inoue, he's not going to get credit. If Inoue beats him, he's going to be drained. I don't want to see it. I'm good. I don't want to see Inoue against anybody above 122 right now, to be honest. Igor, thank you for the donation. He says, hey, Wave, I saw your video about Canelo Bud being 53-47, but the amount say Nello negative 250 favorite, but it makes him a 75% favorite. Yeah, I've seen on other sites it being completely different, much more realistic than what we saw on that site. But I wouldn't expect it to be that close anyway. I also said that it's probably going to change with time. I don't think it's going to be nearly 50-50 by anywhere by the time the fight goes down. But let me tell you something. Salcedo is starting to pick up the pace in this 6th round. And he might have won the last round, but Salcedo is picking up the pace, and he seems to be in control of this fight right now, at the moment, at least. He's really, really digging to the body of Andy Cruz, and he's catching him in these exchanges here. Cruz is getting hit more than we normally see him get hit with. This is turning into a war, and I don't know if this is what Cruz want for the remainder. It's still a lot of. It's only the 6th round. It's still a lot of time left. This is a 10-round fight. I don't know if this is the kind of fight Cruz really wants. You know, good combination from Cruz. Caught him. Cruz is switching. He's starting to take the round back here. Salcedo definitely won the first minute on the round. Cruz came back the second minute, and Cruz seems to be back in control here in this round. Doesn't seem like he can really hurt Salcedo though. Cruz switches back to southpaw. Sweat back to orthodox. Good jab from Cruz. 20 seconds to go in the 5th. I don't know. Cruz Salcedo had the momentum. Kind of lost it. Kind of lost it. Cruz just took the round back. Yeah, Cruz took that round back. Trey says Andy Cruz in trouble. Yeah, man. More about Canelo and Crawford. Reading all the comments, a lot of people think Crawford's gonna win, and a lot of people think that Canelo is going to dominate. I'm seeing comments from all over. You know what I mean? I'm seeing all kind of comments. We'll see on fight night, man. We'll see on fight night. People bringing up fights. Hopkins and what's his name? Tarver, moving up different divisions. I'm like, listen, I get it. There's people that moved up a couple of division and won fights, but Crawford was a lightweight for years. You know what I mean? It's from being a lightweight to being a super middleweight and being one of the best fighters of our time. It's a lot. Not saying he can't do it. If he does beat Canelo, it'll be an incredible win, one of the best wins we've seen in our time. But at the end of the day, it's not likely. It's not likely. I'm reading the comments. I'm still getting comments every day about the fight. I hope Bud wins. But Canelo is just not no he's just not no regular dude, man. You got to understand, as good as Crawford is, and we all believe he is very, very good, Canelo is levels above everyone that Crawford has faced. I see things like, oh, Crawford is sparring bigger guys. He's in there with bigger guys. And all right, well, Canelo's in there with bigger guys as well. So I'm reading all the opinions. Oh, this oh, they're landing bombs on each other this round. I like it. Cruz is taking the punches though. Listen, Andy Cruz, definitely not a power puncher, but he's taking some big punches from Salcedo in this round or in this fight in general. Oh, Salcedo called him with a right cross. I thought that hurt him, but Cruz just lost his balance. Oh man, Cruz is getting hit a lot, man. He's taking it though. He's taking the power from Salcido. He needs to go. He might have to go back to boxing here because he's winning the fight, but he doesn't want to get hurt. You know, there's still a lot of time left. We still got 3 more rounds to go after this round. What's up, AI? I think they said Crawford Canelo is supposed to be in Vegas when it goes down. Big overhand right from Cruz. This is a pretty good fight. Philly Tree says, I wanted to see Crawford versus Canelo after he beat Spence. Yeah, but everything changed since then, man. Everything has changed, man. 154 is completely different. You know, it's just, I'm trying to get, I hope to see Charlo back in the ring soon, but there's no demand to see that fight anymore, even though Charlo moved up 2 divisions to fight Canelo. People just written him off. I think he had some problems at home, and no one's checking for Charlo right now. He doesn't hold the belt. He's not active. He hasn't fought in 54 in like 3 years. He kind of lost his buzz. He went from being a pound for pound fighter in the top 10, being undisputed, and then just, I don't really know what he's doing. Him and his brother, they just not really doing anything right now. I don't think Canelo is stopping, but I am thinking that Canelo will win, but I'm not sure about stoppage. You know, I don't think so. You know, uh, I think he might drop. He could possibly drop, but I don't know about knocking him out. I'm not expecting that. I think even, and I know Bud doesn't want to go out like no punk, and I know he is not going to be trying to run all fight long, but I still believe that he has very good survival tactics, and I don't think he's just going to be just knocked out. You know what I mean? But I can't wait to do a breakdown. I'm gonna definitely do an early breakdown soon. I want to get some more content out of the way with some upcoming fights, and then when I have some free time, I'll definitely start at some point doing some film study for both. I do hope Bud does have a fight though in between. I do think Bud needs to fight above 154 because I just think I don't think he should go another year before fighting Canelo without a fight. I think the only flaw with Crawford really is just his inactivity. As good as he is, I think he would be better if he fought at least twice a year, you know, especially as he ages, man. I don't know. Ooh, good short right hand from Cruz. That was clean. This is a decent fight. No knockdowns, no drama, but this is a very, very competitive fight. Clearly Cruz's toughest challenge to date. Um, I can't remember which Bud fight was the first, but it was the fight with Prescott that made me like focus on him. Yeah. It was that fight that really like caught my eye on him. But honestly, a friend of mine put me onto him a little bit before that. He put me on to him before that and told me to watch out for this guy. And I looked him up. And then when I heard he was fighting Prescott, I paid attention to that fight. But I looked him up before that. Because everybody know Prescott for knocking out Amir Khan. You know, he didn't have much success after that fight, but he was still fresh by the time Bud got to him. And Bud was a last minute replacement. Yeah, Igor, I might go to that. I'm thinking about going to that one. Thinking about going to that fight. Most likely I will. Adewale, thank you for the donation, man. Appreciate it. He says Canelo will surely definitely hurt and drop Bud at some point in the fight. I think so. Canelo hasn't been stopping people, but I think he still drops everybody he fights. You know, I said that in the I think the last time he fought someone that he didn't drop was Triple G in the trilogy, but I think for the first 8 rounds or so in that fight, I mean, he was really like the first 8 or 9 rounds, he was like really beating up Triple G. He got tired after that. MC Treasure, what's up? He says Cruz looks human regular in this fight, not seeing his fancy work because he's stepping up. And even though he's not at the top contender championship level yet, he's stepping up. And these guys they hit harder, you know. They hit harder, they're harder to avoid, you know. I mean, look in the opening round in this fight. Cruz was biting off some of those feints. You know, he's not fighting guys that he can just walk to and be flashy against. You know, same thing happens with Jaron Ennis. You know, he started stepping up. It's harder to look flashy against better fighters. You know what I mean? What's the next biggest fight in London? I mean, I really don't know. You know, um, if they could find a way to get Fury back, that would be the next biggest fight with him and AJ. You know, we just gotta wait and see. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Conor Ben and Eubank. Conor Ben and Eubank is a big fight. It is a big fight. It is a big fight. Yeah, you're right. What's up, Clarence? What's good? Well, I'm expecting Crawford to take the approach that he took against Victor Postal. I expect that version of Crawford to that's the Crawford we're gonna see. You know what I mean? We're not gonna see the Crawford. I don't think we're gonna see the Crawford that we saw against Spence or we saw against David Avenesian. I think Crawford is definitely going to be using the ring. You know, I don't think he's going to be strictly running like Jamel did. Jamel barely fought. Crawford is just going to be moving, and looking to counter Canelo. You know, and Canelo's going to be walking him down, looking to counter him. But Canelo, you know, he's going to want to welcome you to the division. You know what I mean? He's going to want to trap you and hit you to the body. You know what I mean? And smother your offense too. And I think that could be an issue for Crawford. You know, because you're going to be fighting a guy that's going to try to smother your offense and take advantage of it. You know, it's a different kind of fight. Not saying Crawford isn't, as far as being technically sound, he's definitely got the talent to do it. But you know, size, power, and Canelo is extremely durable, man. Much bigger guys weren't able to hurt him. You know, can't wait to see the fight, man. I want to see it just because I want to see if Crawford is able to do it. I don't think so. I don't think Bill Cry. I'm responding to you. Does he still have the legs? I do think going up 2 extra weight pounds, getting hit by a harder puncher, a heavier puncher, and going 12 rounds of all that movement is going to be definitely draining. No matter how good of shape you are, being 37 years old is definitely going to be a factor. You know what I mean? These are all everything you're saying. I was going to speak on in my video. You know, you guys are bringing up great points. A lot of these points are going to be brought up in my video when I finally do it. You know, I've thought about all of these things. But I'll definitely get around, when I get around to it, I'll definitely do, you know, an early breakdown of the fight like I did with Spence and Bud. And I'll talk about the key things for both fighters, you know. Oh, good shots. Good shots from Cruz. He's rallying it. He's hurting. He hurt. He's going for it. He's trying to knock out Salcido in the final set. Salcido is forced to hold. 10 seconds left. I don't think he's going to get it done. Salcido held on for dear life. He's bleeding too, I think, from that shot. Cruz he's trying to get him out. Couldn't do it. Almost got him out. He almost got him out of there. Too late. Salcido almost went down. There's not going to be anything. No rehydration clause, none of that. You know, Bomac already came out and speak out. It's not going to be any of that. You know what I mean? Which is great. I love it. If you're going to go up there to that man's division, just do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Like, listen, catch weights happen, rehydration clauses happen, but you can't force Canelo. I don't think anybody can force Canelo to have some kind of weight or rehydration advantage over him. You know, Canelo's probably like, look, if you want to fight me, I'm gonna fight exactly how I wanted to happen. You know what I mean? The only person that was able to force Canelo to do that was Floyd Mayweather at the catchweight. You know, now there was no rehydration clause because Canelo came in much more heavier than Floyd, but there still was a catchweight at the end of the day. I think Conor Benn has a great chance of beating Chris Eubank that night. I think he has a great chance. You know, I really do. I think the rehydration clause may be affected. So when it was a catch weight, like I think they originally agreed to Eubank coming down to 157. I didn't like that at all. I thought that was just too like those extra 3 pounds was gonna kill Eubank. But now that the fight is at 160, it still may be a factor for Eubank. But I think he has a better chance of winning now than the previous scheduled fight between them. 91, 99 and 91, 98, 92. So one of the judges gave Salcedo only 1 round. The other two gave him 2 rounds. I think Salcedo did at least 2 rounds, you know. I think he got about 2 rounds in that fight. 1 round is not even like crazy, but 2 rounds, say about 2 of those middle rounds he got. I'll tell you this though, I can say right now, Keyshawn is looking like the better profile fighter between the two. You know, Keyshawn looks like the better profiler, and I know he's not going to fight this guy. But I just, just comparing them both and seeing what they've done at this level and more, I think Keyshawn has looked more impressive than Andy Cruz so far. You know, like someone said in the comments earlier, like first few fights, Andy looked spectacular. These last two though, he's looked good, but I can see how he loses. You know, I can see how he loses to some of these guys at one. And I'm not even talking about the champions. You know, but I know he's in transition. I know he's trying to evolve. You know, as more of a puncher and an action fighter. You know, and I know Salcedo's a puncher, but there are way bigger punchers out there at 135. And there's way better boxers too. You know, he did get hit a lot in this fight. So if he is to step up at some point and fight some bigger punchers and some better boxers, some better technicians, I could see him struggling as he continues to step up at the lightweight division. Cruz, Keyshawn is looking like the better pro fighter right now between these two. But at the same time, in his defense, and I'm talking about Andy Cruz, he can always revert back to being an extremely defensive fighter. You know what I mean? That amateur style of his might be the right style for certain fights, if you get what I'm saying. I think he's taken a lot more risk in these last couple fights he's been in. And this might be what he needs moving forward. All right. Main event is the next fight coming up. AI says, wait, what's Chavez Jr. versus Canelo catch weight with a rehydration with weight restrictions? Yeah. I think there was both. I think Chavez Jr., who hadn't fought as a middleweight in a while, or I think it was like a catch weight. I think there was both a catch weight and there was some kind of rehydration clause. And I remember making content on that fight because I think most of us was surprised how good or how fit Chavez Jr. was going into the fight. Because I personally didn't think that Chavez was going to be able to make the weight. I just didn't think he had a dedication to do it. He made the weight. I think it's because on the agreement that, if he were to come in over a certain weight, a lot more purse money would go to Canelo. Like they had some kind of weird, strange agreement. I don't know exactly what it was, but I do remember making content on it. But Chavez Jr. just he wasn't strong in that fight, you know, and that was pretty much the beginning and end because he never really looked good after that Canelo fight. He said, Jamison, was that be a Bozy Ennis thing that Boots took a lot of punishment in his last fight as well? No, I don't agree with that. I think so. I don't think he's purposely. I think it's different with Jerron and Ennis. With Jerron, it's more like he's stepping up, and it's just much harder to showboat and fight with your hands down and all of that. Because those guys that he's fought, like David Avanesian and Zhukajan, you know what I mean? Those guys were just a little better than the people he fought before that. Whereas he had very little, very little respect for his previous opponents. He was just able to have his way with them. Um, Andy Cruz is different because Andy is coming as an amateur, not being a puncher. You know what I mean? Slapping a lot in his punches. You know what I mean? Not like his style was just so amateurish, even though he's really good. Just wasn't really punching. You know what I mean? I think everything that's happening with him is a little different than Boots. You know, I don't think Boots is that he's preparing Boots to just get hit a lot. You know, um, Boots is already aggressive naturally, whereas he's making Andy more aggressive now. You know, he's trying to bring out the dog in him, whereas Boots was already a dog. You get what I'm saying? So that's the way, I don't know. That's the way I look at it. I don't think they're being trained exactly the same way. Like Boots has power, you know, Boots is a dog, you know what I mean? Regardless of how you felt he performed in his last couple fights, he can fight that fight. Whereas Andy is a guy that I think he's trying to show people that he can really fight as a pro and not have that amateur style. Like he's trying to evolve as a full-fledged fighter, as a pro fighter, you know, at a high level. All right, main event is next. So let's talk. Who you guys got winning this fight tonight? Pacheco, Nelson, who you guys got? Do I agree that Jose Benavides is not a good trainer? I don't know. I really don't know. You know, I really can't call it. A lot of people have been saying that for some time. I am not really paying that much attention for me to tell. Um, who is Jose? Jose got a pretty decent stable of fighters that he's training right now. I don't know. I can't really say. Yeah, I think Pacheco is going to get it. I think Pacheco's going to get it. Based on what I've seen from both, I think Pacheco's going to get it. Ryo left him, and Pacheco should leave him. Yeah, you know what? You know what? Most of the time, though, a lot of fighters don't really look. They don't really leave their coaches unless there's something wrong with the money or they just not performing well. Like if they lose, or maybe if they, I don't know, look poor against an opponent, a super underdog or something like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. You know. But a lot of people are saying that about Benavidez. I see it. You know, a lot of people feel that he's not a good trainer. I don't know. I really don't have an answer for that. J-Man said February 22nd, fight party. Yeah, absolutely. That's the Super Bowl, man. That's the day you clear out all your plans. Like that's the Super Bowl of boxing. Like legit. Yes, Benavidez Morel. Yes. I did a breakdown. Check that out. You know, I'm leaning towards Benavidez. You know, I think Morel is probably definitely the most dangerous puncher that Benavidez has faced, though. So I think Benavidez can't just, or maybe he could, but I think he should be cautious. I think Morel, unlike Andrade and well, it's Plant, you know what I mean? Like I think this guy can actually hurt him, you know, but I'm leaning towards Benavidez still. AO says Pacheco by late stoppage. Uh Brown says Nelson's game. He still has the undefeated mentality, but this would be a good fight. I think it will be a good fight. Trey says I got Morel on upset, 4-inch reach and power. Okay. Hulk says nah, Morel by upset. All right. Igor got Morel. You guys got Morel heavy in here. Okay. We'll see, man. It's a good fight, man. It's a good fight. Definitely think it's the most dangerous fight for Benavidez to date, though. For sure. You know? Um, but I got Benavidez. Yeah, Ralph got Morel too. Okay. Yeah, I did a little poll on the channel. I don't know if you guys voted, but it got a decent amount of votes. And let me see where are we at with it now. Uh, uh 38% of the voters picked Benavidez on points, and 32% picked him by KO. So you got about 70% of the people thinking Benavidez is going to win, and the rest is Morel. So 70-30 for Benavidez and Morel, at least on my channel. That's where the voters are going. 70% has got Benavidez getting the W either way. Also put a poll up today on Fulton and Figueroa, which is on the undercard. And it looks like the majority got Figueroa winning. 29% got Fulton winning. And 71% has Figueroa winning against Fulton in a rematch. Yeah, I got to do a breakdown. That'll be my next breakdown. Um, neither one of them is nearly neither one of them are nearly as active as they should be. But I'm not sure on Fulton. You know, uh, first of all, that first fight was very close. You know, I think it was a split decision win or majority decision win for Fulton in that first fight. It was a majority decision. A lot of people think that Figueroa won the first fight, but Fulton hasn't looked great since that fight. You know, they both recently fought Carlos Castro. Benavidez stopped them. You know, and I'm not trying to base anything off the triangle theory or anything like that, but Figueroa has just looked strong since. And Stephen Fulton hasn't looked great since the loss to Inoue. Figueroa looked phenomenal against Danny Roman, but he looked really bad in the Inoue fight. And he didn't look great against Carlos Castro. That was a split decision win for him. That was another one that could have gone either way, and he got dropped in that fight. So, I really don't know where Fulton is at right now. So I'm not. I was actually expecting most people to pick Figueroa to win that one. And I figured, moving up to 126 might be doing a good thing for him, but neither one of them guys are fighting enough, man. I mean, they're both fighting once a year. Neither one of them are fighting enough to me. But he got destroyed by Inoue. So I don't know. Fulton's gonna definitely have to be at his very, very best in order to compete. One thing though, even though with Figueroa, Fulton did a pretty good job at smothering his offense. I know it was a lot of holding that fight. Like I started to watch it recently, and I just wasn't. I didn't. I remember enjoying the fight on the night of the fight, but when I was watching it again, I forgot how much holding was involved in that fight. Not a lot of clean punching because Fulton would be on the ropes and Figueroa would just be kind of smothering his own punches. So it wasn't like a lot of clean punches from Figueroa. And I think that's part of the reason why the judges didn't see him winning. But this fight made me a little bit different. It was still super close. And I have some concerns about Fulton and his durability. You know what I mean? Well, Prograde and Duarte, I've had a lot of time to think about that. I did do a preview video to it. I didn't give a prediction, but I'm definitely leaning towards Prograde. I think Prograde's style matches up much better against Duarte than it did against the last three opponents he's faced. You know what I mean? Being that Prograde is still a puncher, he doesn't have to worry about tracking down Oscar Duarte. Duarte is going to come straight at him. Duarte is kind of like a brawler. So I like Prograde in that fight. I do think that his punch resistance has dropped a bit, but it's a risky fight. But I think I like his chances in this fight compared to Zorilla, Haney, Catterall, these boxers that fight on the outside. But those last three guys dropped them. Zarilla's dropped them. They didn't count the knockdown, but he got dropped in that fight. So if Duarte could find a way to get in there and turn it into a brawl, he's probably gonna stop Prograde. That's the danger with this fight. And I'm gonna say this all in a breakdown. Yes, Prograde has an excellent shot at stopping Duarte and winning the fight. But Duarte is more dangerous the last three because he has the knockout power. And if Prograde is not sharp, he's going to get knocked out. He's not going to just get dropped. Duarte is going to try to finish him. So it can go either way. But I'm leaning towards Prograde. But I got to go back and watch Duarte. I didn't see the fight with Akhmadov. I know Akhmadov is a southpaw. I believe he is. I know Jojo Diaz is a southpaw as well. So at some point, I'm gonna do my film study and do a breakdown for that fight. What's up, Keith? Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I would love to see Espinoza and Navarrete at some point, but I think Espinoza wants to stay at 126 for now, which he should. Hopefully, he can unify. There's Angelo Leo. There's Nick Ball. There's Brandon Figueroa, Fulton. So we'll see. What's up, Hakeem? How you doing? Zepeda versus Cruz. You mean like William Zepeda and Andy Cruz? Is that William Zepeda against Andy Cruz is a tough fight. That's a tough fight. I don't know. That's a tough fight. Ask me again after Cepeda and Pharma too. We gotta put that in my pocket. I'll pull that out of my pocket at some point. Steve Nelson is doing his ring entrance now, so we got the main event going down right now. Heavy Steve Nelson coming out with the M Bison from Street Fighter costume. That's random. I wasn't expecting that. Came out with the intro, the M Bison Deem intro and costume. Steve Nelson looked like a little bit more like Super Mario than M Bison. I would like to see a good upset though. I'd like to see one. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but we'll see. No one's sleeping on Nelson. Trust me. No one's sleeping on him. I told you guys, like, he's a mystery fighter. Not a lot of fights, but he's with a good team. And I think that's why a lot of people are picking him to pull off the upset because he has a good team behind him. Now, when I watched the two, I think Pacheco's a better talent. But you never know. Pacheco definitely got some defensive flaws in there, though. Yeah, I mean, Mike Robb, it's like that with everybody from that time, though, man. Same thing with Jose Ramirez. Same thing with Josh Taylor. Like, that was a great run for 140. It was a great Cepeda. Remember Cepeda and Baranchek? Remember that shit when they was just knocking each other down back and forth? Dope fight. You know what I mean? You had, Ramirez doing his thing. You had Josh Taylor doing his thing. You had Regis Procre and everybody in that tournament. And then everything just fell apart after that for all of those guys. You know what I mean? Once they took that one loss or whatever, everybody just fell apart, and now 140, it's a whole different division now. Like all of those guys are becoming like Jose Ramirez is a tuna for Devin Haney right now, It's just crazy how things changed. It's crazy how things change so quickly at 140. But it's been a lot of fun, and it's still a lot of fun. I just want to see some unifications now because we don't have a tournament, but it should be a tournament, and it's gearing up to pretty much be it, or at least the way Turkey is doing it. Not so much like the World Boxing Super Series, but I love for 140 to be at a tournament right now. Because you got so many good fighters there. You know what I mean? You put the champions in there. If you could get like a 12-man tournament at 140, or or 8-man or a 12-man tournament at 140, that would be dope. Or something like that. I don't know. I don't know how to do the math with it. All right, but Diego Pacheco is in the ring. We're about to get this going. Woo! Let's go. There you go, Pacheco. 20, wait, is he 23, 22, 23 years old? He's young. Nelson, what? Nelson is 37, 36. Pacheco's 23. Nelson is 36 years old. Wow. Yeah, in my opinion, 54 is the toughest division right now. In my opinion, yes. 54 has always, at least in my time of making content, I will say that 54 has always been a top 3 division as far as challenges and talent. Because when I started this channel, Canelo was at 54, the Charlo twins, Andrade, Cotto, you know what I mean? All those guys were there. Kirkland. There's a lot of guys up there. You know what I mean? It was always difficult. You know what I mean? It was always difficult at 54. Nelson is an underdog tonight, but he's not a huge underdog. They got it kind of close. Definitely worth putting money up on, though. Because it's a heavy Pacheco fan base in that crowd. Heavy Pacheco fan base in that crowd. Did Sergio Martinez KO Paul Williams in 54? I think the rematch was at 160. Correct me if I'm wrong. The rematch, or maybe was both of them? Because I know Paul, I think Paul bounced around. Sergio Martinez fought Paul Williams at, yeah, both fights was at 60. Because I know Paul bounced around from 47 to 60, you know, or he fought at 54 too, you know. When he fought Carlos Quintana, that was at 47. Okay, then he just went up. I think when he beat Quintana in a rematch, yeah, he moved up after that, right? Fought the older Winky Wright, fought Sergio at 160, fought Kermit Citron at 54. Did the rematch with Sergio at, looks like it was both of them made 50, 156, 157. Technically, that's 160. Lara, that was at 54. And his last fight was against Ishida for the car accident or the motorcycle accident. All right, guys, let's get this last fight in. Let's go. Let's get it. Round 1. Checo's a worker. We expecting him to be trying to get in range. Let's say Pacheco and Nelson. A lot of feints. Steve is pushing the pace. Got Pacheco on the back foot so far. Pacheco trying to keep that distance. Pacheco just waiting, being patient. Fights in the center of the ring. Both guys showing respect. Nelson going to the body a little bit. Nice movement, nice lateral movement from Pacheco. Pacheco starting to faint. Steve lands a straight right to the body again. He comes in, throws an overhand right, rolls off Pacheco's shoulder. Pacheco looks very relaxed. Nelson's doing most of the work. Not much from neither so far. 1 minute to go in the first. Nice right counter from Nelson. Raises Pacheco. Another straight right to the body. Lands for Nelson. Remember, this is a 12-round fight. Neither one of them have gone to 12 rounds yet in their careers. Big right hand from Nelson. Misses. Now Pacheco coming for it. Pacheco finally doubled his jab, shows the right hand, blocked by Nelson. Round one in the books. Filling out round. More activity from Nelson. It's like a 10-10 round to me. I didn't think neither one of them really did anything. But Nelson touched him to the body a few more times. So if you're going based on landed punches, I would probably go with Nelson. But me personally, I just think neither one of them really did anything effective in that round. Let me get my pen. J-Man says Steve needs to calm down a bit. Yeah, I mean, it's a big fight, man. Pacheco looks like, even in the breakdown, I just think that I think he's just been in there tougher so far, and he looks more relaxed. He threw a right cross to open up the second round. Didn't land, though. Think Nelson touched him to the body. I like Nelson going to the body, though. That's one of the key things I said he needs to do in this fight, especially because he hasn't really gone the distance. I've seen Pacheco pick up the pace in later half of his fights. So Nelson continues to commit to the body. He stabbed Pacheco to the body a couple times. Pacheco's now coming forward. Got Nelson on the back foot. A lot of movement a lot of upper body movement from Nelson. Feints. Short right hand from Pacheco lands. Caught him with a light uppercut. Nice jabs from Pacheco. Lands. Nice little combo from Nelson. Caught him with the left hand. Just above a minute left in the second round. Pacheco grazes Nelson with the right cross. Nelson catches him to the body again. Nelson comes in, throws a flurry on the inside. Good jabs from Pacheco. Good jab from Pacheco again. Oh, caught him. Caught Nelson on his way in with a right hand. Second round in the books. Have it 1-1. Yes, please hit the thumbs up for me. Everybody smash that like button. Thank you, AO. I have it 1-1. I mean, the first round could be a 10-10 round, but I think Nelson did a little bit more. I gave Pacheco the second round. Like this jab, landed a couple of right hands. Still a light fight so far. First 2 rounds, not much action. Nothing monstrous landed from either. You know, they're both fighting the chess match for now, at least. But no significant shots landed from either yet. A lot of irky jerky movement from Nelson. I wonder how long he can continue like moving that much. You know, but Pacheco starting off this round good. He already stepped back and landed a right hand and an uppercut. Nelson got to be careful of that uppercut. It was one of the things I brought up in the breakdown because he kind of charges straight in at times. He's already been caught with it a couple of times. And I don't think Pacheco has been sitting down on any punches yet. He's kind of just been touching them with the shots. I'm waiting for the fight to start. That's what I'm saying right now. I know it's still early, but I'm waiting for the fight to start. Like, this is like a little sparring session so far. Waiting for some action, some intent, and some bad intentions, and some punches thrown. It looks like Nelson is taking the approach of trying to slow this kid down and invest into the body. Good jab from Pacheco on his way in. Lands. Trying to slow the big man down. See, these right hands that Nelson has been throwing is they haven't really been connected. A lot of them are just rolling off Pacheco's shoulder, you know. Thirty seconds to go. Slow round again from both. It's kind of like the first round. Check left hook, but he palmed it for Pacheco. Uppercut from Pacheco, blocked by Nelson. Not getting anything. Oh yeah, that round is it's hard to call that one. Yeah, I just didn't get much from either in that, you know. It's like the first round, like I don't know. I don't even know if I could score that round. I don't know. That's a tough round. Whatever way y'all got that one, I think that round was even harder to score than the first one. Yeah, I'm 10-10 in that one. I can't score that round. All right, round 4. Let's see if something happens here. I want to see some fights, man. Let's go. I want to see some punches, some real punches. Sparring session so far. Nelson is starting to be a little bit more aggressive here. A lot of jabs from Nelson so far. Like the combinations from Nelson. Very herky jerky. See if he's been in and out. Let's see if Pacheco can time him. He might be having some issues with the timing of Nelson. Nelson landed an uppercut. Nelson's just been in and out, throwing the jab, throwing the right hand, maybe throwing a swivel jab after, but Pacheco hasn't timed him on his way in. He's kind of just either taking a shot or just backing up. Good jab from Pacheco lands. But Nelson is getting the better with the timing here and the combinations. And it's working for him. Pacheco can't get the timing down. Good jab from Pacheco. Oh, caught him with a right cross on the way in. He caught him there. It's a good shot, but didn't seem like it bothered Nelson at all. Good jab from Pacheco. I think it's time for Pacheco. Nelson is bleeding. He's bleeding. That right hand cut him. That was a good right hand. I didn't think it was good enough to cut him, but he cut him with that shot. And now he's starting to throw jabs. 30 seconds, just above 30 seconds to go. Checo's starting to come forward now. Oh, Pacheco tried to time the hook, man. That hook would have been dangerous, but he missed. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. This fourth round, it was all Nelson outside of the right hand, which has been the best and most effective punch by far in this fight. Cut him, split him open pretty bad. You know, not a stoppage type cut, but he definitely opened him up, and there's still a lot of time in this fight to go. But outside of that one punch, Pacheco didn't really do anything. I can't. I know it was a good shot. No, it was a jab. Okay, it was a jab, and then the right hand. So he landed jab. Oh, you see it split open, and the moment he landed that jab, he split him open. Yeah, see, I think Nelson was winning the round, but I don't know how the judges have it. I could give Nelson the round, but judges might say, "Yo, We giving it to Pacheco. He landed the two best shots in the round. You know what I mean? Uh, I think with Nelson, I don't think the way he's fighting is going to win the fight that way. Like, you know, he hasn't landed any real effective punches. It's more like tapping them, getting in and out type of thing. I think for Pacheco, I think he does better if he starts to come forward. Maybe he's waiting. I think they know that they're trying to burn him out. And this is why he's still fighting on the back foot. I think he's going to turn it up in the second half of the fight, but I think he would be more effective if he can, you know, was consistently coming forward and forcing Steve to fight on the back foot. But Steve got to do something. He's gonna have to do something a little bit more, like land something harder than just tapping them in and out. You know, tap tap. Steve got to do something else. Pacheco's just waiting for him. Now he has Steven on the back foot a little bit. Big uppercut for Pacheco, misses. Good right hand from Nelson. I mean, missed, but it was a good shot. He loaded up on that one. 40 seconds to go in the fifth round. Another close round so far. Pacheco, throw the right hand. What are you hesitating for? They talking. Not enough fighting though. Another round in the books. Another dead round for me. I'm just not getting anything from me. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not. I don't like scoring these rounds because neither one of them is doing enough for me. You know, I'm just being honest. They're not doing enough for me. Neither one of them doing nothing for me. You know. Diego to me does the best work in the last minute. I don't know how these judges got it. Yeah, no, the cut is definitely bothering Nelson, but Diego is not doing a lot. You know, he's landing one or two big shots per round, and Nelson's still with this jerky tap tap punching stuff. You know what I mean? Checo's starting to come forward a lot more. Nice right hand from Nelson. Slows down Pacheco. Good jab to the body from Pacheco. I think that was like the first jab to the body from him. Right hand lands for Pacheco. Nelson comes in with an uppercut, misses, catches a jab. Almost halfway through the 6th round already. Nelson touches him to the body. Right hand to the body lands for Pacheco. Good jab from Nelson. Good right hand to the body from Pacheco. That was a nice shot. Good jabs from Pacheco. Getting a little bit more activity from Pacheco. Probably the most he's thrown in a round so far in this 6th round. Good uppercut from Pacheco. Nice little combination. Landed a left hook to the body, too. Best round for Pacheco so far. Clear round for Pacheco. 6 I gave to Pacheco. See if they could go back to the corner of Nelson to cut. Looks like they really need to try to stop that bleeding. That cut, it's a pretty bad cut. Pacheco seems to be picking up the pace now. Let's see if he continue doing what we got in his last round. I think this is the clearest round of the fight so far from either fighter. All right, round what round are we in? We're in round 7. Yeah, Pacheco's now throwing heavier shots. Let's see if he can land something. Nelson with the right hand grazes Pacheco. Chris Mannix unofficially has it a tie. He gave the 1st, the 3rd, and the 4th to Nelson. Which is pretty accurate to me. The 3rd, I gave it a draw. I thought that was a swing round, but I don't think the way he got it, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Now Pacheco's starting to throw bombs now. Now he's making more of a fight. He's throwing some heavy shots on Nelson. Nelson caught an uppercut there. Nelson got to be careful. His eye is getting pretty bad, man. The eye with the cut, it's swollen above the eye and below it. Left hook from Pacheco lands. Nelson steps in with a combo, but looks slow. Doesn't look like he has any effect on Pacheco at all. Overhand right from Nelson. A step back uppercut from Pacheco. Pacheco, another uppercut on his way in. Another uppercut from Pacheco, but he missed that one. Nelson comes in with a combination. But I think this is the fight that Pacheco wants. You know, I know Nelson, started to throw the straight right cross. You don't want to get hit by that. Pacheco's he's really putting it on Nelson. Watch the head clash. Watch the head. Referee warned Nelson. Oh, uppercut again from Pacheco. And he's smiling. Looks like he's having fun in there. This is the fight he wants, man. Another round for Pacheco. I'll let you guys know if it changes, but the swelling on Nelson's eye looks bad. The bleeding is still streaming blood, and he's swollen as well. It's not swollen like shut, but it's a lot of swelling underneath the eye, a little bit above the eye too. The thing is, I don't see the power in Nelson, you know. Like I said in the breakdown, I thought Sean McColeman was he was tough. He was landing some heavy counters on Pacheco, just slicker. Nelson is a worker, but I don't see big power in anything he's throwing. You know what I mean? Just I don't see it. I don't see it. I think he's giving Pacheco some movement, and Pacheco's telling him, let's keep it in the middle. Pacheco's starting to gain confidence. I don't see the power. I don't see the speed. Good jab from Pacheco. Oh, pick hook from Pacheco. He finally landed it. He's been trying to land that hook throughout the fight, but Nelson took it well. Pacheco's starting to walk him down. Another thing is too with Nelson, he's been fighting. He got caught with a counter right hand from Pacheco. Pacheco's doing it bad now. Nelson can't do nothing from that range. He needs to change it's time to adjust. It's time. You are out of range. You are out of range. Way out of range. And this is where Pacheco wants to be, because his best punch is that right cross. He's taunting Nelson, daring him. And if you rush in on him, he's gonna connect with that uppercut. That step back uppercut is what he's waiting for you to do, or the left hook. But this is not where Nelson is gonna need to be here. This is bad. He's got caught with another right hand. He's gonna get knocked out soon. He's gonna get knocked out soon. He's getting caught with jabs. He's getting caught with everything. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even writing the score anymore. It's clear here. It's clear. He's sitting here throwing right hands from all the way on the outside. His arms, he don't have the length. In the McColeman fight, McColeman was shorter than Pacheco, but McColeman had long, extremely long arms. So he was comfortable with throwing his jab all the way out there. He didn't have to get close to Pacheco. Pacheco had to get close to him because McColeman was about boxing. Nelson don't have that kind of style. He needs to get up on you, and he can't do it. He's not doing that. I don't even need a score. It's nothing else to score. Pop said, "What up?" He's watching the channel. Text me. Yeah, well, Nelson burnt himself out with all that movement he was doing. You know what I mean? And I know that was part of the plan, and it was throwing off Pacheco's timing. But at 36 years old, how long can you maintain all that erky jerky movement, all that moving he was doing, all that upper body moves is gonna slow you down. You know, he did it for a good 4 rounds straight, 4 or 5 rounds straight, but he's probably tired now. Plus, he's getting hit. Plus, he got the bad cut, swelling, all of that. But I still see Diego. Diego is still being patient. He's very relaxed. He's not trying to force a knockout here. He's just looking to land a big shot, but he's waiting for it. He's not forcing anything. He's just boxing. But it's clear. It's clear. Like Diego's doing everything better. And Diego can still turn it into a brawl if he wants to. He can still win that way as well, but he's still choosing a box here. He's throwing some bombs here in this ninth round, but got a minute left in the ninth round. Good jab from Diego. About 30 seconds to go. He's just using jab here. He's just outboxing him with the jab. We got 3 more rounds to go. But it looks like a tune-up right now. It went from being a sparring match to just a tune-up for Diego. You know, said Diego Pacheco at 23 is better than Benavides at 23. I don't know. I still where was Benavides doing at 23? Who did he fight? Was what Benavides is what, like 28 now? Like what is he? 28. He's 28. So 5 years ago. So 5 years ago, around 2020. For Alexis Angulo, he had already beaten Anthony Durrell. I don't know about that. He was already champion at that point. This is around the time when he fought Ronald Ellis, Kyron Davis, Anthony Durrell. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't think so. I think Pacheco is just another guy that is just improving with each fight. I don't want to sit here and go that far with it. You know, I don't agree with that one. You know, I don't agree with that. I think Benavidez might have been already better than Pacheco at that point. You know, I'm not seeing uh I still want to see him in more fights. Like this is a good fight. It's a decent test, but oh, he landed a big right hand. I think that buzzed Nelson a little bit. Probably the biggest shot he landed. He ate it though. No, he ate it. Nelson's all right. Nelson's all right. He came back and threw some punches. Another big right hand from Pacheco, but that was blocked. Is Pacheco looking for a knockout now? I mean, Nelson's still coming forward. Yeah, Benavidez. I know people like to trash his resume, but Benavidez was already fighting better people at this point. You know what I mean? He was already he was fighting better people at this point. You know, I don't think it's a fair comparison. Another right hand from Pacheco, big one too, and a left hook. This is not this is not they're not in the same level at all. Yeah, even though that the decision was close and that fight was close, and I know Benavidez got knocked down and all that. Like Benavidez was fighting better people at this point at his age, you know, because Benavidez turned pro like at 16. It's just not a fair comparison in my opinion. Benavidez went straight as a pro, you know. I don't know. This is my opinion. Oh man. Like I'm looking at Benavidez's resume, right? Like Benavidez fought Dennis Duglin at 2016. You know, like is Steven Nelson better than him? No, I think they're like around the same level. You know what I mean? And that was in 2016. You know, how many years ago is that? Like 9 years ago? Like almost 9 years ago? This guy was like 19 at that point. We're talking about Benavidez, you know, like he was like 19. Steven Nelson is on a level as of Dennis Duglin. Like Duglin is known to be a tough fighter. You know? He's a tough dude. And he's been a sparring partner for many top tier fighters for years. You know, he fought Porky Medina. Like these guys, you know, I don't think Steven Nelson is, you know, I still think the other two fighters that Pacheco fought already. I know he stopped Selecki quickly, but I think Selecki in his better years was better than Nelson. Over that was a big right hand from Nelson that landed. It didn't have no effect though. Um, but yeah, I just don't think it's a fair comparison. But Pacheco needs more experience. He needs more. Like, before we start putting him up there with some of the best guys, there's, I still want to see him in some more fights. Nelson is fighting with a sense of urgency, though. He is being aggressive here in this round. I like it. I think so far he's winning this 11th round. He's not doing anything really effective, but he's landing more than he has in a while. He's trying to win the fight. He's trying to land something. He's walking into some shots now on his way in. But he's having a decent round. It's probably his best round so far. His best round in a while. Nelson looks tired though. Uppercut, monster uppercut from Pacheco again. Another one. Nelson is just eating them though. He's coming in and he's still throwing punches. He's got a good chin. Another uppercut from Pacheco. That one hit the body though. I see Pacheco just look up at the clock. What's that about? He's waiting. He wants this to be over. He just looked up at the time. Good 1-2 from Pacheco. But he gets caught with a right hand. Good round. A lot of action. Probably the most action in this fight this round. Make sure you guys smash that thumbs up, man. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. And hit that bell notification. I've been getting complaints about people not getting the notifications. Make sure for your smartphone, get the settings right. Just make sure everything is straight on your phone. YouTube ain't perfect. I know people don't get a notification sometimes when I go live. But please subscribe and hit the notification, man. Hit that thumbs up too. Yeah, first time both of them go 12. I think both of them gone 10 once. First time they both go 12. Final round. Let's see if we see something. Steven Nelson's coming at him. Watch the heads. Watch the heads. Ref told him again. Yep. Chris Mannix still has it like similar to mine. He gave Nelson that last round, that 11th round. Nelson is charging in with his head, though. I don't like it. The ref is warning him, but Nelson is fighting like he is trying to win this fight. He caught him with a right hand. He's being very physical, and Diego's more like looking at the ref, like telling him to watch his head. Oh, uppercut from Nelson. Nelson is he's brawling. He's not. Oh, whoa! Nelson hit Pacheco with a monstrous left hook. That was the biggest shot he landed in this fight. Oh, he's all over Pacheco. Pacheco don't seem hurt though, but that was a big shot from Nelson. Big, huge shot. Wow. What? Oh, another left hook. Oh, Pacheco's getting hit. It hasn't answered with anything. Oh, whoa, Nelson, another right hand. Wow. Oh, wow. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Pacheco looking at the clock again. I told you guys the last round. He's ready to get this over with. Nelson with another right hand. What is happening? Wow. This is crazy. You said this guy was better than David Benavidez? At 23, hell no. He's looking at the clock. He's ready to, he's done. He doesn't want to fight anymore. Oh, nice check, left hook from Pacheco. Pacheco fighting back. Wow. Steve Nelson just earned another shot at a top fighter. These last 2 rounds, especially this round, the old man came back. Wow. Pacheco looking up at the clock is scary. That's not a good look. Wow. Fight's done. Wow. Wow, yo. Wow. Wow. Good finish. It's not going to be enough, but you can make an argument that Nelson, this could be a 7-5. This could be a 7-5 fight. This could be a 115, 113 fight. This could be a 115, 113 fight. And if he doesn't win, they'll throw him back in there with somebody else that's tough. He finished stronger. Oh, he said, "Don't take you serious." He beat up my boy Flint. I'm not expecting the scorecard to be that, but you never know. One of the judges might have it that way. I'm not expecting that though. You're right. I'm expecting more like one. I'm expecting 117, 111, 116, 112 cards. That's what I'm expecting. That's what I'm expecting. 117, 111, 116, 112. But I think you could make a strong case that this was a 115, 113 fight. You know what I mean? I'm not impressed with Diego. Only because he's the younger guy, and I that whole looking up at the clock thing turned me off. Because it really showed that he was ready to get the fight over with, more so than trying to like make it clear, Like he was done fighting, you know. And I just don't think at 23 years old, maybe he's outgrowing the weight. Maybe he is very tall. What is he, 6'5"? What is he, 6'5"? Maybe he's struggling making 168. He's 6'4". You know what I mean? All right, here the call. Hold on. Unanimous. 111. But I tell you, 117 and 111 across the board. One 111 all the way through. Hakeem, like, the scorecard will never be 115, 113, though. I could have got 116, 112 in there somewhere, at least. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah. think it's a little too wide, but I'm not surprised. I want to see Nelson. Nelson's against Berlanga. I can see that. I think Berlanga does better against Nelson, though. I want to see Nelson against. I want to see Nelson against McCumbee. God, Plant just fought. I like that fight. I'm 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 more impressive. I'm more impressed with Berlanga right now. I think I liked Berlanga in his last two fights. The fight before Canelo and the Canelo fight. I like Berlanga in those last two fights right now. Yeah, but I like McCumbee and Nelson. I like McCumbee. I want to see McCumbee again. I want to see that guy again. You know, I know he I know he pulled up with the old mustache, but he could fight, yo. That dude could fight, yo. That fight was fire because McCumbee had mad strength, right? And then Plant out of nowhere turned into a dog fight and stopped him, which was also unexpected. I ain't never seen Plant like dog fight somebody to a knockout like that. I'd never seen it like that. So I want to see McCumbee fight again. And I want it to be against, like I would see McCumbee against this guy, but uh Pacheco or Nelson, I think Nelson just earned him a fight with someone though. He said he wants to fight the guys in the top 5. And I still think McCallman did better than Nelson. McCallman almost won that fight against Diego Pacheco. He'll have nothing to be ashamed about. He showed a good fight. I don't think he won, but like I said, the car could have easily been 115, 113. Yo, that's why I ain't put no money on the fight. Yo, I told y'all, don't expect the KO, man. This if this guy happened to be durable, which he's proven to be, Pacheco might go the distance with this dude. You know what I mean? Like it's just too many unknowns about this guy, Steve Nelson. Fight is over. Pacheco won 117, 111. Or at least they giving him a full interview. No, I don't like when they just cut off the loser when it's a close fight like this. Yeah, that's why I ain't touched. All right, guys, man. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm gonna get on out of here tonight, man. Thank you guys for joining the live. Please hit the thumbs up on your way out. Please subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. Hit the bell notification as well. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with some more content. All right. We'll definitely talk about this down the line a little bit more. All right. Y'all have a good night. Peace.